Hey everyone, welcome back. Sorry about that. Facebook only lets us stream for 4 hours. So if you missed our first half of the second half of part 1, you can catch that on the Whisky Beards publishing page. And for the minute, come join us for part 2. This is part 2. I'm Orchestral. I'm going to be your host for the next sort of 5 performers. And I'm really excited to welcome Kathy. She's going to come to our stage next. I'm super excited to hear her work. I've been told again that she's absolutely incredible, and I've just had a really nice chat with her. So if her poetry is as lovely as her chat, then you're going to have a great time. And I must just say, Kathy, I'm really in love with your bookshelf. For those of you at home, I'll spotlight your video so people can see. I love it.
That's just one of the many, many bookshelves in the house.
That's what I need. I need a house just so I can have bookshelves everywhere. All the books.
One day.
But, yeah. So when you're ready, if you'd like to take it away, I'd like to welcome Kathy to our virtual stage, please.
Hello, welcome from newly re-locked down Leicester. We're going back in time, as it were. I'm going to do 2, maybe 3 poems. One is older, and maybe a couple of virus poems, but we've been talking a lot about key workers and the invisible people who keep the country going. So this poem was written a while ago, but I think it's still apposite. It's called There's More to Your Cleaner Than Meets the Eye. There is more to your cleaner than meets the eye. That one gets up at 5, runs as fast and far as heart and lungs can bear, revels in the recognition from other early morning pavement pounders, and then puts on the uniform of tabard, bleach-stained leggings, and becomes invisible again. That one knows the name of every star that's in the sky, and more than that can tell you why they are so named, but has spent so long on hands and knees, she fears she may have lost the knack of looking up. That one's boyfriend's banged up again. Working double shifts, she has curated a collection of childcare so complicated, tenuous, that in a gallery you would call it web or DNA of every day. That one says she's lucky. In a refugee camp far away at 15, 16, the soldiers said she was too old to rape. So mostly she was left alone. That one speaks 5 languages, including yours, so knows exactly what your husband and his mates make of her arse when she bends down to scrub your skirting boards. Laser jets from lowered lids if looks could kill. That one holds a broken bird, a touch so light it's if her hands were wings and not these red and swollen things, fingerprints burnt off with bleach. Convenient, she always thinks, should she start a new career as master thief. And this one's writing poetry, verse as vicious as vipers, mouth so acidic it makes diamonds bleed. This one's writing poetry. There is more to your cleaner than you will ever see. Thank you. The next one, I don't know, I'm going to have to read it, but it was written at the beginning of our virus journey. And sadly, I think some of the points are becoming more relevant, not less. So this is called Virus, March 2019. Extraordinary how quickly we learn to embrace our brave new world. In a time where almost any other embrace seems unimaginable, stay mostly in your home, an hour a day outside, maintaining social distancing. Mind you, the British have always been good at that, but then we called it stay with your own, play with the children who look like you. But now it has an actual measurement, 6 feet, same depth as a well-dug grave, and so we stand, toes touching the slightly not straight duct tape lines outside the supermarket, one in, one out, buying what we need or if self-employed can now barely afford, ostentatious displays of minimal consumerism, overfull trolleys slightly frowned upon, and yes, there will be those who write the perfect poem, create an art piece to make hearts sing, or finally complete that jigsaw bought 10 years ago, but in 3 or 4 weeks' time when we do another form of body count, Those women suddenly so clumsy around cupboard doors and irons and burning cigarettes and worse. And those children whose speech seems frozen, wrapped up upon themselves. Home is where the fist is. And in 6 months' time, when you and your neighbours plan a peaceful protest, maternity unit gone, a barren space in place of nurture and new birth, or a road that ploughs through common land, remember the police will still have power to disrupt all gatherings of more than 3. In 10 months' time, when they slash the minimum wage, well, they managed fine on 80%. The rest must be superfluous, just luxury. In 12 months' time, when your bullying boss demands a pound of flesh and blood beside, remember how easy it is to lose a job, your income, your sense of self. Remember, take 2 months leave. Remember, go stack shelves in supermarkets. Remember, welcome to our brave new world. Thank you.
Oh, that was such a good last line. Like, listening to your whole set, your last lines are incredible. Like, they just, the way they, well, obviously they close the poem, but the way they really close your poems is just beautiful. Beautiful. I'm really happy to have heard you. I'm really happy that you've been here. Like, thank you. Thank you.
When the world returns, I'm very, very available for gigs, schools, workshops, and community-based workshops. So
Fabulous.
That whole of my income stream rather stopped on March 24th. It would be nice if it came back quite soon.
Yeah, no, this has been, in a weird way, I think quarantine has been both the worst time and the best time for artists. Financially, it's been terrible, but productivity-wise, I think for the most part, it's been pretty good. People have been quite good.
If people want to find out more about me, I've got a YouTube channel.
Fabulous. Yes. What are your social media details, please? So people
YouTube channel under the same name as on the screen. I'm not very imaginative. That will give you links to my latest collection, Your Cleaner Hates You and Other Poems. And
that is such a good title.
Isn't it? And you can also find links to my blog there, which I try and update regularly. And if anyone's interested in sustainable fashion, I also have an Instagram identity about sustainable fashion, slow fashion, and shopping in a good way. So that's me. If anybody would like to publish my second collection, that would be marvelous. My publishing deal has fallen through. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much.
I'm here and I'm needy.
Thank you ever so much for gracing the stage. We're done.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what happened there.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope the rest of the event goes really well.
Brilliant. Thank you. And so to bring us on to our next performer, I am so basically Aisha, we went to school together back in the realms of time. They are incredible. You might have seen them recently on ION. They were our last headliner for the last ION that happened on Sunday. They were performing with Bethany Goodwill, who is also coming up on today's event later, so definitely catch them out later as well. They are a slam champion. They're based in Bristol. They're just an all-round great creative, really. They have a makeup page. You can see their beautiful makeup looks. Their poetry is incredible. They are an activist for an activist to help people that have anorexia, suffering from anorexia. Like, they are just all-round good egg. Yeah. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome Aisha to the virtual stage.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you for that lovely intro. That's great.
Oh, that's okay. I was like, I want to say different stuff to Ion. Thank you for joining us so close to your last performance of the WinchesterFest. It's great to have you. And yeah, whenever you're ready, take it away. Aisha.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I performed like a few days ago with WinchesterFest, but I'm going to do a few poems, and one of them is actually a new one. So no one will have heard this before. I'm just going to do a quick content warning for sexual assault and stuff. This is called Vanishing. I keep having dreams where a man I love is trying to kill me. Fingers wrapped around my throat. I wake up just before the breathing slows. I don't know if it says more about me or if I have loved too many men who have choked me the wrong way, or if violence and love are just part of the deal. There are parts of me that are still 17. The other part is older than I am now. When I was born, my mother gave me her years. I was grown before I even knew how to speak. I've been told that trauma is hereditary. I've been told I speak like my mother when I'm lost. I want to tell you that violence is a bruise blossoming in plain sight. I want to tell you that I screamed, but mostly the house was silent. The frame of my bed a muffled church song. I want to say that the officer was gentle and did not ask about the fabric of my pants or if I was a flirt. I wish I could say it was an ugly stranger, not someone who told me they loved me each day before it happened. Mostly, I still miss all of them. The boys just turned 18 who were gentler than most, who held my hands like any friend would. I still want to believe that given the chance, they would not do it again. In another life, we are still best friends, now in our 20s, and we still drink cheap wine from the corner shop and smoke like we're invincible. They have girlfriends and a cat who they love. We laugh at the people we were at 17, the people we thought we loved, the nights we cleaned up each other's vomit like it was our duty, singing at the top of our lungs out of car windows, crying into each other's laps. Mostly, I still miss all of them. The boys who taught me how to vanish in broad daylight. Thank you. That was my first one. I don't know how much time I've taken up there. I think I'm just going to do one more, but we'll see. This one I did the other day, so she saw me the other day, I'm sorry. This is called In an Alternate Universe. I go to Tesco's and pick out my lunch with reckless abandon. Do not stop to check the fat content on the bag of crisps. I step outside and eat in front of everyone. They do not stare because there is nothing unusual about this. My thighs are thicker than last year. I watch them spread like butter across the bench, unfazed. I am left with so much time to daydream about the poem I am writing, the novel in my bag I cannot wait to finish, the friend I am meeting for coffee, and whether I have enough change for a latte or if I'll settle for a peppermint tea. There is a man sat across from me with eyes like a wolf, with teeth like all the men I loved in another life. He looks at me like I'm his meal deal, like I am the next thing he will sink himself into. He tells me ladies do not eat sandwiches so heedlessly. I take out my receipt and scribble, I'm not a lady, and place it into his lap. I walk away and no breath is wasted on a half-formed man. I meet my friend down the street. The sun sprinkles across the waterfront like pots of glitter. We do not talk about the weather or men or the government. We tell each other what we ate for lunch. I order a coffee because fuck it, I want to taste something bitter. She tells me she's reading a book about an alternate universe where women like her kneel down to boys with eyes like wolves. and we laugh at how ridiculous that sounds. She tells me about her new lover, a girl with cold red hair and eyes like the ocean. And she is not all consumed. She is just in love. Thank you. That's it from me, because I don't have any poems short enough to do the next. I think I had a few minutes left, but yeah.
Okay, that's okay. As you can imagine, being poets, we're running a little bit late to time anyway. So actually, you have unknowingly done us a massive favour. So thank you. That was brilliant. I love that poem. I loved hearing it again. I know there was only like 2 days in between hearing it before, but man, and that line with the coffee, or will I settle for peppermint tea, and going and buying your lunch with reckless abandon. Those lines I actually remembered from Sunday, and I was just like, yeah. So thank you ever so much for joining us today, and yeah, thank you for being a part of our wonderful finale.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
That's no problem at all. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so what can I say about our next poet? He's an artist. He's a poet. He's an all-round fucking fabulous guy. He cooks a very good curry. Also, yeah. So Steve is joining us today from Essex. He's been exhibited in London. He's been published in various places. He's performed all around the Southeast. And yeah, I mean, if poetry or being an artist falls through, there's always owning a restaurant. Yeah. And I've been lucky enough to sample his food, and it is killer. So it's great that you're here with us today, Steve. How are you?
Hey, Laura, man. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I was up stupidly early this morning because all of the producers were like, we want to make sure the day runs as smoothly as possible. So let's all get up at the crack of dawn. Yeah. So we've all been on the energy drinks, just like stay awake.
Professionals, you know, so energy drinks are a part of that. Yeah, it's better than other things you could be taking.
I'm so excited to hear your set today. Your sets are always incredible. So yeah, without any further ado, when you're ready, yeah, take it away. Let's welcome Steve to the virtual stage, please.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, hopefully my poetry is better than my cooking. No one's ever complimented my cooking so enthusiastically. Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go with the weird stuff today, I think. Sometimes I write about place, but it's not my favorite thing to write about. Sometimes I write about esoteric weird stuff, so that's what I'm going to do. This is kind of new. Yeah, hasn't got a title. It's not finished, but let's see. Still participating in the wicked matrix. One day I'll go ahead and paint the sickest paintings, but for now I'm just chilling, mate. It's a bit frustrating for me to see my visions tainted, and my talents can't yet fathom what I'm illustrating. I've got to make decisions basic, got to make them hear what I'm drawing. That's what I isn't saying. Using waves to break them out the prison slave ship. The planet's gone a little crazy, the collective mind is dissipating. Maybe it's evaporating. Lost my place. Maybe it's evaporating, so the next precipitation can deliver us to greatness like a mystic spaceship, a pyramidic wavelength. The mission's paving ways for spirits sacred. A cataclysmic intermission brought forth by inner graces, intuition playing out the inner muses' games. I'm still sifting through the mazes my imagination places over my brain in correlation with the missing runic pages. I've been hitting lunar stages with a spiffing double hazy, taking interludes and placing different tunes to make what I'm saying real cool and spacey. I'm a different dude since May, since I've been saving my evenings for getting creative instead of forgetting to make shit. I water my plants, then pray with making lyrics about the way this universe sits in my mind, and it's me who makes it. Thank you. That was the first one. Yeah, cool. So yeah, that's a new thing. Just most of my writing, I just sort of focus on a rhyme and then see what comes out. Yeah, cool. I'll just go into the next one. This one's called Osmosis. Same sort of thing, but it actually has a title. Yeah. Sometimes I look inside myself and I see dirt. And that's not an insult. Nah, I've just seen firsthand the existence of our rebirth. Listen, It seems clear to me that if energy can't be destroyed, that means Earth is made of that which has never not existed. It's perpetual. We've been cursed with everlasting life. We've been birthed. And I'm not just talking about the physical, because my body will decease. We're temporary creatures on this green turf. But it seems worth contemplating for a second that definite beginnings and endings are far more blended than you might have comprehended. Maybe it's true that my perspective has been heavily infected by my past chemical ingestions, but it's interesting that they should help me to notice my blessings. I'm an apathetic anti-consumerist, and I'm not interested in the things you hold in your hands while you neglect the gold you hold inside your soul. You can't reject this. I bring this metaphysic dialectic in a killing spree, moving through life lyrically like honey mixed with killer bees. I hope this pollinates your mind, a stinging soliloquy. I bring symmetry through what my spirit sees. I stare into the mirror, then I mimic me. Don't be so cynically guided, wishing for no tomorrow. Know that death is just a hollow tube and we all have to follow through. On the other side, you will find that you are life renewed. See, alive in you is I, quite true. We're all one life in two. And then times a few. When our minds collude, it's harmony. We survive in tune. I'm inclined to prove that I'm overdosing vocally, choking on the spoken word, and oh God, I notice it. We're all just floating in a liquid on this potent trip. My focus goes from microscopic all the way to telescoping it. We're connecting quarks to cosmos through the process of osmosis. It's something like psychosis, the way the voices always spoke to me. Some mad vocal streams, a dosage of hidden noetic notions, which turn my gnosis into rhymes. So really, I didn't write this. Nah, my ghosted. It feels like I note shit that can't be spoken, but when I'm rhyming, it somehow opens like I recite the code for growth into the right lock, then it's broken. I'm trying to feed from my God's fallopian till the day I rise awoken, and then I can truly say I know the logos that's been spoken. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, how long have I got left, Laura?
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh God, what's a 2-minute poem? Go on then, let's find one. Yeah, okay, this one. Yeah, this one, unlike anything else I ever write, doesn't rhyme, so that's fun. It's called Transcendence. So I wrote it in one of my probably more serious moments, which is they're few and far between. Cool. I'm after a transcendental experience with a little more materiality and a little less ephemeral vapor. I want a light to shine bright, not just in front of my mind's eye on a dark night, but at all times, and maybe one I can climb into. I'm attempting to see spirits here and now through my naked human eyes in a way that might allow me to grab them by the hand rather than simply passing through them. I've been seeking things which link the seen and the unseen in the material world, and I forgot to look in the mirror. There are certain plants, fungi, and laboratory-made chemicals which can simulate this feeling, but the more I take them, the less able I am to differentiate between the demons and the angels. Now I seek this feeling in a metaphorical Jesus who I used to believe in back when, before all this began, in a very different way. I wouldn't call myself a Christian. I've just seen the necessity of the symbology at the very root of our culture. The fact of the matter is the matter of his flesh matters. The secret of resurrection truly lies in the physical. All else is just ghosts. There's meaning to be found at the center of a tree which has been carved into an instrument of death. It's in the being of a being who willingly decides to hang from it. Carry the heaviest burden you can imagine and own it. When that has been done, and you speak from a place of personal truth, all the while, it stops being relevant if you're right or wrong. The universe will play itself out in the proper manner. You must have faith in that. As a planet and a species, politically, personally, we're at the apex of no return. We can either move forthrightly with the love of humanity shown by our metaphysical spirit guide, or tilt that cross into a swastika onto which will be nailed only the meek. Cool. That's me.
Your internal rhymes, fuck. Just when I think I'm getting better at like doing internal rhymes, and I think, yeah, this is a slam poem. I could do this at a slam. You just you blow it out of the park every single time, man. Your internal rhymes are just incredible.
That's very kind of you.
Incredible. And I love as well, like I try and do the same thing, where you make words rhyme, that they only rhyme in your accent.
Yeah.
I love it. Like when people do that, I just Thank you ever so much for being with us today. Thank you for joining us for the finale. I'm so excited to have had you back for WinchesterFest. And yeah, so do you have social media? or anything like that, is there sort of anywhere where people can find you?
Yeah, so I'm Steve Draws on Instagram and Facebook. It's Steve DRAWES, all one word, and www.stevelawsarts.co.uk. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. What you guys have done is incredible. What is it, 102 days or something stupid? Like,
yeah, 102 days of pleasure/stress.
yeah, you know, Glastonbury ain't got shit on you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's amazing.
Well, we're world record setting, baby.
Yes, nice one.
Thank you for joining us.
That's sweet. Enjoy the rest of it.
You too. Okay, so I'd like to introduce our next poet. I am very excited. It's Stanley Ianu. I haven't heard them either, actually, but I am very excited to hear them for the first time. I hope you're as excited at home as I am. I have been kind of following what all of the people I've been hosting have been up to, and what I have seen so far on social media I'm very excited by. So I have no doubt that their set is going to be absolutely incredible. So hello Stanley, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you. Pretty good. It's been a very long festival, but it's been brilliant. I've met some really incredible poets and really incredible people, and it's just I hope it's it's been something during quarantine that I think has helped a lot of people, and it certainly helped keep me as sane as a poet can be.
Yeah. No, I know. I've seen so many of of the performances have been so good. So it's great to be a part of this. And I know it's so ambitious, but it's amazing. So many poets involved in one day. Like, that's crazy, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And luckily there's 6 producers, so we're all taking turns to host. So you might have seen Alex this morning. You're stuck with me, I'm afraid, Laura Kestrel. And then we've got Claudia coming next. But I know that she booked you, and she's told me how wonderful you are. So yeah, I'm super excited to hear your set. So yeah, whenever you're ready, I'd like to welcome to the virtual stage, please, everyone, Stanley.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. Okay, so for my 7-minute set, I'm gonna do 2 poems. I'm gonna kind of tell a very quick story, kind of like love and loss, I suppose. So the first one's called Dandelion in the Wind. And pretty much the inspiration for this one is basically like those moments when you and another person, you and your partner, or really someone who means a lot to you, you don't see eye to eye. And instead of kind of like talking about it, you kind of you both kind of leave things as they are. So yeah, I'll do that first. Let's speak in the morning, and let the misunderstanding fill in the cracks between us. When you sleep next to me, I hear the unsettled frustration when you breathe. There's no comfort in those sighs, a coldness in your turning. Come closer is what I am thinking, but those are not the words I will say. You'll be gone in the morning, and then I'll wait for you to leave, though every part of me hoping, wanting that you stay, that you choose to stay, because you want to stay, but you want to leave, and I let you. Back here again, coffee has gone cold, your seat is where you left it. You never finish your toast, and the crumbs sit by me while the radio plays background music. Your presence is gone, and I miss it terribly. Replaying everything the night before, wondering if I'm sorry, or it will all be all right, or let's speak in the morning was such a good idea. I'd go back in time, but I fear that this would always be the outcome. I think your love is like a dandelion in the wind, about to blow sailing in the breeze, drifting off far, far, far away from me. And I am the wind that's pushing you away, but never pulling you back. Thank you. Okay, so that was Dandelion in the Wind, and I'm gonna jump into the second poem. So this one's called Daisy Chain, and it was inspired by a prompt. I get involved with different poetry groups, and there's a group called Tonic who I'm obsessed with. They're amazing. And the prompt was dandelions and daisy, so I've already written that one. So this one was just imagining a situation. Okay. All around is still, still in this moment, almost stagnant, like the world has frozen in time, and anything and all that's there is still at peace. Lost in the garden, the sun emblazoned in the sky warms my skin, sets it ablaze. The light breaks, disturb the quiet, stealing silence like giggles at night, breaking into the hush, waking up this still life around. A rusting car, covered by shade and droppings, a lonely tree, a torn swing naked. I still slumber for the stillness of birdsong, rippling in sounds of chirps through the air, while the sky is mellow, calm in its azure, a cerulean quality. Let's play with the flowers, you say, holding, picking any wild flowers. Their smell enter into my nostrils. I taste the tang and roll my eyes. You start to make a daisy chain with the others. You look beautiful. I gave you daisies, you gave me kisses, and I begged for more. Efulia la Marguerite. He loves me not. To what extent? Un peu, beaucoup. He loves me like how the grass bends and leans. He loves me like the tan line scorched on his skin. He loves me, then he loves pas de tout. But I am just intoxicated with you. Mais je suis juste ivre de vous. Tu me plais. I like you. Eating pick and mix, humming an 80s power ballad. I just like you. Thank you. So yeah, and that was Daisy Chain. And thank you.
Your set was brilliant. And a Tonic, they're based in Bristol, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to them a few times. Taryn, one of the people that helps run Tonic, he's a fellow Cornish person.
Oh, Cornish. We went to uni down there, yeah. Cornish. Yeah, he's a great. Taryn's awesome, and the Bristol lot are really great.
Yeah, no, I haven't worked with Tonic before, but I kind of keep up to date with what they're up to, and like I'm really looking forward to experimenting and trying to do some work with them in the near future. Yeah, but your set was so good. It was so good to hear you. My only wish is that I weren't hosting as well, so I didn't have to do admin stuff so I could fully listen. But man, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Such an incredible set. I really enjoyed it, especially that last poem. And it was such an interesting prompt as well. And I think sometimes they're the best prompts when you have like completely random shit and you're like, how do I make a poem out of this?
Exactly that, and trying to make it original and trying to not make it sound like anything else. But yeah, that poem, I thought those two would be a nice little lunchtime set, like two different sides of something.
Yeah. No, that was a really beautiful set. So just so our folk at home know where to find you, do you have any kind of social media pages or anywhere where people can keep up to date with your writing?
I do. So if I've got Twitter and Instagram. So Instagram is Stanley_writes, W, and then for some reason Twitter it reverses it, so it's Writes Stanley. And then if you type in my name, Stanley Yanu, you find like YouTube videos and stuff. Feel free to like and subscribe. Shameless plug, but hey, feel free.
Well, thank you for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you for being part of the finale of WinchesterFest. And thank you for making history with us today.
No problem.
The longest running literature festival online.
See ya.
Bye. Okay, and we're back to me. And what can I say? I have absolutely had an amazing time hosting my part of WinchesterFest finale. And just to finish off, I'm going to do a really short set just to close my part of the festival. I'm going to set a timer as well, just so that I don't go over. So yeah. This is dedicated to Alex because I know that he knows this poem probably better than I do. So here goes. Beauty glows from the tips of your fingers, your fingerprints tracing the ceiling as if they were wings. Clipped in flight. Don't say sorry. You mustn't ever say sorry. They've been telling you that since the start. Always stand up straight, smile politely with perfectly painted faces and femininity, all appearance, all adherence, and no heart. You've been tired for so long, your fears dragging behind you like you're wearing a cape of stone. Bombarded by this or that, anything to undermine you, so that you find yourself taking the rap for a feeling which is not your fault. It has never been your fault. You were born in innocence, a lamb to the slaughter. Sorry for the cynicism. Forgive me, Father. I didn't know how to tell you before, but I didn't lie at your feet. And so you beat them, crushed them, buried under the dirt and labeled a whore. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This was not how it was meant to be. Looking in the mirror, seeing your beautiful body watered down to skin and bone and loathing too. I wish you knew. Counting calories as if counting was the only thing that stood between you and happiness. Please know it does not matter how you dress or what dress size you're assigned. Every inch of you is perfectly woven, every thread perfectly designed. Now, I'm not saying you're always going to be fine, but you will be strong. Standing up in a crowd, loud and clear, saying, "This is me, I am here." I know they're not done yet. Taking every opportunity to look at you, to look at me, telling us all these things we must get. Oh, how is a pretty girl like you still single? You must have just been waiting with bated breath for that wonderful tracksuit clad, slightly mad hair looking guy telling you, well, he's hot. You could easily get a guy. Want to go on a date sometime? Thanks for the offer, mate, but I'll have to decline. It's not your tracksuit, it's me, and mainly you. Like, my rump is a steak which needs to be taken off the heat before it is well done, or else the meal is ruined. I quite prefer salmon anyway. Propelled by the doubts, ticking mounts, as you can almost hear them judging your body clock, like a ferry that never quite made the dock. Better get a move on before it's too late, you'll hear them say. What a comment. Stereotype me a cat lady if you like, thanks for the compliment. I am strong, ferocious, with tender paws and warrior claws, and I won't change that. You've been silent for far too long. Take care of your health, it's worth a lifetime of wages. Take care of your body, you're due a break from comments and outdated practices on how they like their steak. You're strong as steel. I know I already mentioned that. A 21st century warrior of zeal, as soft but sharp being like a cat, I feel. With this thing called life, you may not always believe it, but you've got this. You've always had this. And don't let them ever tell you otherwise. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off with my last couple. 13 conversations in my head. I wish you weren't so difficult to understand. Why am I smoking again? I am in love with the way your body moves. and the way you sometimes close your eyes when you dance. How can I dream when I barely sleep? I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. I still remember what your lips taste like. I wish I didn't feel so trapped. Where does your mind go late at night? I think I love more than just the way your body moves. At least, I think I do. But I'm not sure that's the same as being in love with you. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, WinchesterFest, for having me. I have absolutely loved being a producer for this festival and today. And yeah, it's just been a fucking incredible experience. So yeah, without any further ado, I am going to pass over to our next host, from a fellow, well, half Italian to a full Italian. I'm going to pass you over to Claudia, who is going to be taking you into part 3 of our wonderful finale. Hey, Claudia.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Laura, so much. I've really enjoyed this so far. It's been crazy, but absolutely worth it. So I hope that we'll carry on like that. So, without further ado, I think we should just launch into it. First, we have a poet which I have never heard before, but I'm looking forward to it. And the name is Andy Talbot. Andy Talbot is a poet from Newcastle and a co-host of the weekly open mic Choose Poetry, Choose Life on Zoom. The event is broadcast live on Mutiny Radio in San Francisco. His second chapbook, Old Bones, New Skin, will be released August 2020 via Analog Submission Press. So there is a lot. And there we go. And do you take the stage now? Woo!
All right. Hi. Thank you for that introduction. That was brilliant. Yeah, I'm really pleased to be here. I've got 3 poems. I should be able to get through them in the time that I've got allotted. The first one doesn't have a name. Oh, before I do this, can you hear me okay, yeah? Am I coming through okay? Okay, let's just pretend I am. Yeah, so this one doesn't have a, oh, cool. There's a thumbs up on the screen. Yeah, this doesn't have a name. Last night, the silence got too heavy. I found myself here again, no longer gliding on air, but dragged swiftly back to ground. The rug pulled from under me and my now not so sure feet, falling hard and surrounded by familiar eggshells, on which I'm now forced to walk in the place I call home. So today I walked, today I drove down the coast, past the sea of blinding broken glass, caught in the light of the morning sun, and I felt hope. I wanted to stop, to pull over and get out of my car and get out of my head and lose my shoes and lose my clothes and lose myself and sink below those waves of broken glass. Because for me, that's what the ocean does. It's what the ocean has always done. Before you, before me, and before us. After you, after me, and after us. It takes the broken, it takes the sharp, it takes all those jagged and splintered edges, and it changes them, sends them back to the shore as something whole, something smooth, and something new. Thanks. So this next one is about a night out in Glasgow last year. It is called Slouch. Could it be the eyes? Some newly discovered shade of blue, they are piercing me, and finally I feel seen. I stumble through my order, my tongue tripping over every single syllable, and I'm not quite sure it's got anything to do with the fact I've been day drinking rum like it's going out of style. Could it be the nails? Painted on in public between tending to the pumps and pouring pints for the parched patron. I envy them. It's such a power move and they need to know I feel this way. If you'll allow me to get slightly off topic, the music in here is always memorable. It's the only reason I have Shazam downloaded to my phone. It's the only reason until tonight that I keep coming back here. Block Party, Manson, Hendrix, The Doors, the list goes on. I don't know. Maybe it was the company. Maybe it was the alcohol. Maybe it was my mood, or maybe I was just feeling it. But the music in here always does something to me. Between every round, I would talk my friend's ear off about it, about the music, about those nails, about those eyes and that smile, until eventually I find the courage, likely Dutch, but courage nonetheless. And I find my feet, and I find myself at the bar, and I find myself finally telling him, and away it lifts. We slip into casual conversation and the night rolls on. Thanks. Have I got time for one little short one? Cool, thanks. So yeah, I've got a new chapbook coming out end of July, beginning of August, called Old Wounds, New Skin. This poem is / would be the title poem of that book if it wasn't for the fact that I wrote it after I sent the manuscript off. So I'm going to try and get that in there before it comes out, because it just makes sense, right? So yeah, this is Old Wounds, New Skin. It's a new outfit, or a new style, or a new haircut. It's to be daring again, to feel liberated, to find yourself, by yourself, for yourself. It's new ink, or a new hobby. It's a new life. It's a fresh start and a whole new level of fuck it, this is my life and I'm going to live it by my rules. It's putting yourself first. It's realizing that you can actually put yourself first. It's growth. It's change. It's looking to the future and shedding the weight of the past. It's learning to cover old wounds in new skin. Thank you. That's me done.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing. I was right after all. You know, thank you so much for coming to do this. Absolutely, anytime. Do you have any social media handles you'd like to share?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at AndyChrist19, so ANDICHRIST19. I co-host the weekly open mic on Zoom called Choose Poetry, Choose Life. I'll put something in the chat, and
would you like to do another poem? We have some spare time.
I don't have any to hand.
That's okay.
No, I would normally, but all my stuff's in the other room, and I'd just be pulling one at random. And yeah, but thanks for the offer though. So yeah, I'll put all the information in the chat about things. I'll jump over to Facebook and put it on in the comments there as well.
Awesome. Right.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So well, whilst we you know, get this third time filmed, I might grab a poem. There we go. Sorry. This I've actually brought to Unislam a while ago, well before, you know, COVID. And I used to know it, but I'm not sure, so I'm just going to read it. It's called Apocalypse 2 2019. You were happy. I remember the way you would rest your head against my shoulder, looking for my hand to go through your hair. I remember the way you used to hold me like I was an island in a sea full of sharks, and you really wanted to stay alive. Stay with me. Right in the middle of the sea, turn the sharks into dolphins, go watch the sunset. So you could say something cheesy and lame, and I would laugh so hard, secretly loving every syllable that just came out of your mouth. And then you told me you didn't love me. When I found out, I was astonished. I never knew you would demolish all of my being little by little in a deadly game of Jenga, with my bones scratching the process so that my body could never be whole again. And I would always be seeking the last piece of the puzzle that got stuck in the hoover of a parallel universe where I actually learned that letting you go is the first step to self-love. Now I'm here, after a year of tears running clear down my skin, medicating my wounds into scars in the shape of the heart I lost in the last hand of blackjack. I decided to write a view of us. In my own version of closure, to try and move forward, forgive and forget, accept the prospect of letting myself fall in love again. Maybe at some point in the future where I've fallen in love with every one of my flaws, and I might be able to be cautiously vulnerable around the one person I'm hoping to meet and the last one I'll ever meet to. I'm not scared because I'm as good at forgiving as how well you taught me the best way to forget the pain you caused at the center of my chest. I've reduced it to a bland sting where I didn't know it was gaslighting meant. But I really loved you. And I thought you did too. Talking about Scotland, shooting stars with a fire, tons of weed and some warm cider, fair few Johnnies if required. I swear I had found the love of my life. I wanted to keep you so bad. I did Tetris on our souls, locking them tight for fear that you let me go. And you did so easily. If I were a jumper you never really liked. I tried to wait for your mind to change its perspective, that saw me like anything but whatever you were looking for. Or so were your words, where you were trying to let me down nicely, but you messed it up too. Thank you. Anywho, we have our next poet. Hang on. Whoop. There we go. Let's try. There we go. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I made it.
You're good?
Yeah, good. Just a good day.
Awesome.
How are you?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, Michael Smollers is poet, slammer, and spoken word performer from Greece, based in Barcelona, Spain. He's the organizer of Poetry Slam in English in Barcelona, and the organizer of Poetry Slam GR in Greece.
Yeah,
cool. Right, there is a lot of stuff as well. Oh my God.
yeah, I do many stuff. I just wrote you some.
Awesome. Right, would you like to go ahead and, just show us your work?
Yeah, actually, I decided to do a poem as it was the LGBTQ plus month. I decided to do a poem with this theme. It's an older poem. I wrote it like last year. Yeah, I don't know if you prefer something like this or maybe a poem written in the isolation period.
Awesome.
Okay, let's do the one I decided. Then if I have time, I can do another one.
Go for it.
Okay, so it is called Believe in Your Murderers. And it goes like that. The first time I closed my eyes and kissed a guy, I saw my mother trying to stop me. I saw my father trying to beat me, but I was a ghost in his dream and he couldn't touch me. I felt my bowels changing shape, transforming into a baby so my new me could come out of my belly. I felt the sun into my skin and the darkness of me into my head, exploding the roots of my existence. He didn't have a beard, and that made it easier. The sharp hair would have made my happiness bleeding. The first time I made love with a guy, I was drunk, and next day I went to buy a pink t-shirt, or it was me seeing everything in the color of pink. I felt like I had won the blue bias and I was now ready to sing in the bathtub all the rumors out. It is very weird to visit a country when you know that you are not legal over there. It is very weird to cross the borders of what you are and what they want you to be. Statistics say that I should be dead by now. People believe that I don't deserve to love or to be loved back. It is considered a shame to hold my lover's hand in the street. as if our hands aren't meant to feel the warmth outside of our castles of macho fairy tales. It is considered offensive to kiss him in front of kids, because their parents, they don't know how to explain them that there is nothing to explain when you love somebody. You should see their eyes looking at me, praying that my lips would stop feeling comfortable and I will stop. And I stop every single fucking time and I put my head down. Because they don't know how to explain them that a part of love, there is attraction. Why do you need to excuse my sexuality only if I love and not when I just want to fuck? I'm fed up of being accepted. I want to be respected. Respect is not a mosquito's bite molesting you for a while and then disappearing. Respect is to feel your skin clean and protected. I remember when my brother went to wash up his arm when a gay guy touched him, my own brother. I felt like I preferred to die than come out to this person. And I died. I died for several years until I found the medicine. To love myself, to love my tears. See that there are people who love me, the people who love me are more than the ones hating me. My mother was crying as if I had killed a part of her inner self. She never felt like that when my father was cheating on her since the day they got married. She suffered for several months until she accepted that I loved her, until she thought that nobody would know because I live abroad and that was convenient. She didn't think that Shane could travel. She thought I would be poor forever, and it's not her fault. It's not my fault neither. My mother is imagining me next to a disease in the shape of prison. They gave it the same closet because our handicaps are more like stars hidden during the daylight. Second-hand bullets penetrating your soul when you thought that the world was a lollipop, but it was a giant gun reminding you every single fucking day that you are nothing more than a vampire living continuously under the thought of blood. Living in a space that you are not safe to walk alone. You are not safe to walk with lovers or friends. You are not safe to kiss what you desire. You are not safe to visit the world. You need to put borders in your eyes. You are not safe in any religion, but they expect you to believe in your murderer. Remember, all the times you sacrificed yourself could have created a new religion. Could you have died and resurrected more times than the times that you sipped milk from your mother's teats? Because it's a fucking miracle that you have felt a zero for most of your life trying to prove you deserve to be number one, and you still never forgot how to count to the eternity of your soul. You are not safe in the supermarket, in a museum, in a concert, in a dark street, at school. You are only safe when you hide. You are only safe when you shut up. You are only safe when you don't exist, when you don't look at anybody, when you don't look at yourself. Because you don't exist if you don't feel. You don't exist when feelings are forbidden. You don't exist without you. You just don't exist. We are doomed to have a partner, to be in a relationship. Because if not, we are supposed to fuck around spreading diseases all the time and we are called prostitutes. Our life is a dark room made of pain, where joy seems close, but it's centuries away. This is the 21st century, where the future becomes past, where a bullying message can drive someone to committing suicide, where drugs are the excuse to flush your head, where women are still paid less and it's acceptable, where slavery still has the color black in the skin but not in the heart, where governments are afraid of anarchists and not afraid of fascists, where narcissism is permitted and narcissism is taking you to bed every single night, where everything is filtered but your ego is still growing, where it is cool to beat your wife because your friends will give you a reason for it and you will feel okay. It is cool to be a priest and rape children because your church will save your funnel ass. Where it is cool to make money stepping in humanity without having any regret. Where it is cool to fuck the planet with plastic condoms, but it's not cool to enjoy your gender without having to give explanations. This is the 21st century, where to love makes you to worry and to hate makes you a hero. And this is me trying to exist instead of just living. That was first time. Thank you.
Awesome.
And yeah, if I have time, I can do one I wrote these days of the isolation. Do I still have some time?
Pardon?
Do I still have some time?
Yeah, you do. You've got about 4 minutes, 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll go quick. It's about 4 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. It's called We Deserve This. We deserve this for running all day without looking back, for being the ones not feeding the ones who need food while we throw food away. We deserve this for not giving our hand to the ones who are drowning for 10 years now, and we push them down to the bottom of the sea instead. We deserve this for taking videos with our mobile phones when there is a fight in the street, when there are homophobic attacks in the street, when there are racist attacks everywhere, when we see somebody suffering in need of help and we don't help them. We totally deserve this. For leaving the rich, becoming richest, and being the ones supporting their cruelty, for voting the rich, for voting the fascists and applaud them when they murder our brothers and sisters. We deserve this. For believing that we are better and higher than the poor countries, that we make them poor via our inability to fight for them. For growing up children who are bullying other children. We deserve this. For being ignorant, for being the ones criticizing the system that we have created, for murdering the minorities with laws we create and vote, for accepting the laws of countries to marry and fuck children, for accepting that there are children working and dying for our stupid material needs, for seeing women under the situation of clitoridectomy without doing nothing, for seeing as normal everything happening far away from us but not when it happens to us, for criticizing everyone else and for complaining about everything. Even what we admire is a result of manipulation. Even what we love is a result of being accepted from the system. Even who we fuck with is a result of advertising our mind instead of listening to our bodies. And we now applaud the doctors and the nurses because they do their job, risking their lives. When we have never applauded the doctors going for free to Africa to save lives, leaving their lives behind. We totally deserve this. For being the lucky ones all these years and think that we are the chosen ones. We deserve this. For doing nothing when they close the borders to refugees. For doing nothing when Nazis is mispromoted. For making social media our lives controllers. For buying and eating the meat of suffering souls. We deserve this. For voting governments to be our torturers instead of saviors. For leaving our children to grow up alone. For beating our children when they want to be different and change all this shit. For letting ourselves to be stoned and take drugs in order not to think what we have done to the humanity. We totally deserve to have a fucking fever that lets them prohibit our appearance from the outside world so they can control every single breath of us. A fever that lets them prohibit that we touch each other, that we kiss each other. We deserve to be told off if they see us taking a walk. We deserve to wear masks so that nobody can see our mouth that has been shut for so long and now it deserves to be hidden as well. The mouth that remains shut in front of everyday cruelties everywhere. The mouth that insults feminine men, masculine women, fat human beings, disabled human beings, colored human beings. The mouth that discriminates people with mental health. The mouth that screams in the street, faggot, Paki, nigga, back to your country, whore, bitch, lick my dick. No, we were never free to speak. This is an illusion of our politically correct schizophrenic attacks. We deserve to cover our hands, the hands that have killed so many innocent souls, the hands that have covered the mouths of innocent women or children in order to be raped. The drunken masculine hands that have been beating women for centuries and have been protected by male laws. The hands that have been dirty by typing numbers for our distinction and by hanging a friend or family. These hands that have been signing global contracts for our humiliation. These hands that are the ones buying dozens of toilet paper to clean their ass and only their ass. We totally deserve this. We deserve not to sleep with our partners, not to wake up with our families. We certainly deserve this. And now what? Now the earth is shining again. And one day, maybe, we'll be accepted again, depending on our behavior. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. This is fantastic. I just was so touched. I was so moved. It's different when a person lives in two different places and, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it has a different impact on the poetry as well and on the people, especially because, you know, you can reach even more people. You can English people, Spanish people, whoever. Like, It's
So,
awesome. Thank you so much for
thank
being
you for
with us.
having me.
Would you like to share some social handles or something?
I have so many. Yeah, I mean, I have my Instagram, it's Mike Smolos. My Facebook page, Mike Smolos, and then the slam pages, Poetry Slam GR and Poetry Slam, the English one. And I'm also the organizer of a yearly festival in Barcelona of spoken word with music, which is called Duende Sessions. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Right. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for having me. And
it's been lovely. So we shall move on to the next performer. With us today, right now, we have Claire Merrick. Hi, Claire.
Hi, how are you?
Hang on, I'm going to spotlight. Oh, hang on. Spotlight
Muted.
here. There we go. Hello.
Hi.
So Claire is a mother, writer and artist. She divides her time between avoiding housework, I feel that, painting, taking photographs and performing poetry. She also has a regular slot on radio, and her Instagram is Houseworkaverse, right?
Yeah, Houseworkaverse. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Would you like to get started then with the...
right. Yeah, right. Okay.
It's okay. I wanted to give you an introduction so that people know you.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Right, I'm going to start off with one that's an old one, and then I'm going to do a new one. What I've been missing most during this whole time is hugs. So this is just a quick one called Hug. Hug big, hug good. I know you'd hug me every day if you could. I missed our hug, whole body hug, and not just anybody hug, a somebody loved hug. A wide open hug, a tops of your fingers to your toes hug. I needed a hug. I missed your hug. I would hug you every day if I could. Thank you. This one, the next one is, I wrote right at the beginning, so it's brand new and I never performed it before, but this is, it's called You Breathe in Consciousness. You breathe in consciousness. Suck in the frost-frozen, spine-cooling, life-enhancing air. You let it make your teeth chatter. The hair on your back stand to attention. Frost bites at your bated breath. You swallow it whole. It wakes up the soul residing in every cell of your body. That first morning air that hasn't had the chance to catch the first rays of the sun. You breathe in consciousness that's been up all night, that's had time to dream up ways of putting yesterday right. In the dark, it didn't need the light to make amends for the heat of yesterday's words. In other words, it finds the stillness and the silence of night. You breathe in consciousness, suck in the starts and the dream of a new moon. It's not too late, it's not too soon. It hits your stomach, the wounded and winded, sick to the core. No one is keeping score of intuition's fingers, the tally chart of woe. It freezes the flames of anger in the fire pit. You breathe in consciousness, suck in the stillness that wraps its arms around the branches of the trees that come to life with a sigh of relief. All seeing, all knowing, all knowledge. It bends at your knee, a believer to deliver the prophecies once regarded as possibilities. Perhaps you can wrap them up in inevitabilities. You breathe in consciousness, suck in the breath nature gave willingly, nothing expected except acceptance, that we are all and nothing, equal, unequal, monumental, environmental, imagined in the stillness of morning creased sheets to the wind. You breathe in consciousness from the stillness of your bed, replacing the dread in the darkest corners of your head. Shedding light in its wake, we awaken to this day of all days, distant, possible, broken, You breathe out doubt. You move on consciously. Thank you. That's Cersei work. Right. That was that morning when you wake up first thing in the morning and you breathe the day in and you think this is wonderful possibilities. And that was a reminder to myself, really. So there's another. I think I've got time for another couple. I'm timing. This one I wrote while I've been walking in nature. I'm asthmatic, so the trees are really important to me at the moment. And walking in nature has been the most amazing thing for me. So I wrote this on the top of a hill 3 days ago.
Nice.
I hear the sea in the trees, see the tides in the wheat fields, the spray of chamomile salt in the air, windmills in the distance, lighting up houses, birdsong telling tales of fathomless depths, the road a connection. Are we there yet? Gravel, the shell she sells to put in glass jars, with fireflies leading the way. Long shadows like rock pools. Clouds and butterfly wings set sail across the sky. Hedgerows, windbreakers, a shelter. Telegraph poles and washing, masts and flags. Crowflies look out. Greens and blues fading to violet. I see you, barefoot and smiles. Softness carving its way through hollows and shallows. Can you hear the mermaid tale? My voice a siren call. Calm. I loved you still. Water. Thanks. Right. The next one is missing London big time. Missing just hopping on a train and going up to London. And I wrote this at St Pancras a couple of years ago. It's called Look, Don't Look. I'm on the platform, waiting patiently, in the air that shifts, scented with flowers. I'm in the gaggle of giggles of late night revelers. Don't look for me. I'm in the seat beside you, whispering as you laugh at memories. I'm in the tears that carve hollows that allow you to breathe in the shallows. Don't look for me. I'm there in the fingertips that hold your pen that writes future possibilities. That pause, then sigh at the goosebumps that spread evenly. I'm in the shadow that greets your feet that dance in the light that follows the night. I'm there in the fire that ignites, then burns, turns yellow to blue. Don't look for me. I'm the 33 words placed on your spine that hold your head up, a backbone so you can speak up. When you're torn, don't look for me. I'm the heel click on the platform. Turn around, then face me. Thanks. I'm going to read, I think I've got time to just do this one. It's my favourite one. And I paint a lot, make a lot of art. And this was written in the Tate Gallery at the Picasso exhibition a couple of years ago. I think I've just got time. As I slowly walk through mirrors and rain, I look up. There you are, standing right in front of me. Eyes meet, a recognition, an instant ignition, heat. Heat emanates from the spot, that perfect curve of my stomach. She looks at me, then you. She knows this look. He wants a war for her. My plumage is ruffled as my feet hover above ground. Tongue and groove suspends all other footfall, silent. I stand for a moment to catch a glimpse of another. I see her at rest. Cupid's bow glistens above reddened lips, slightly. Rest red and blue in May, Ruby Tuesday, a day of serenity. But I saw you on a Thursday. You didn't notice the adornment, just the crown of white feathers and thoughts, peace. All colour drains away. You start to draw your conclusions, no illusions, just the skin I reside in. Pencil marks, the flick of the wrist. You couldn't resist to touch my skin. I saw the look you drank. It dissolved in your throat first. Recline in another with a flower in her hand. She silently reads the writing on the wall. Your hands hold brushes to stroke that perfect moment, to leave marks on those that walk on past. Dream. My thoughts liquefy and trickle down your spine. Your feet anchor. She turns her head at our melting point. She knows that look. He wants war for her. Tuesday's child saw you on a Thursday. You don't have any further to go. Thank you. That's all of my poem. Thank you.
always forget how to unmute myself, and it's like one button. But anyway.
You can't, you can't unmute. Oh, you've unmuted yourself. I can see you now.
Good.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. I could listen to you all day. Like,
Thank
not
you.
gonna lie.
I've
Thank
had hay
you so
fever,
much.
but
Would you like to share anything else? We've already given your Instagram.
yeah, that's it really. That's you can find me on,
Okay.
you know.
All right, that's been awesome, Ben. Thank you
you.
so much for taking part to this.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
So, up next, we have one of my favorite poets, and we met at Unislam as well. And I just was in awe when I heard this poet. So I think we should welcome to the stage the amazing, fabulous Tia Lumbanjo.
Hi, how are you?
You look awesome.
Thank you. Oh gosh. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm really excited. Obviously, I look a little bit different than normal, but I promised myself that I wouldn't turn this into a advocate opportunity, but obviously everyone should be aware of the current situations in the US and in the UK in terms of Black Lives Matter. I'm not saying that you have to join a protest, because I know that that's not viable for everybody, but if you do have like the time or the energy or the effort to go and support this amazing just campaign that shouldn't really be needed nowadays in terms of us treating each other equally. Like, Black Lives Matter is the bare minimum, you know? So that's all I wanted to say in terms of that. And yeah. In terms of the poetry, I am a little bit unprepared, I'm not gonna lie to you. But if you give me a moment, I'm gonna read a poem. I've read it before, but I just didn't think I gave it the delivery that I perhaps wanted. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get it up. My Wi-Fi is a bit.
It's all right. Honestly, I've had the same issue. I've got right now 2 laptops and my phone.
No, I have a tablet, my laptop, my phone, and nothing's working. So, I don't know. Right. In case technology doesn't work, the worst thing you can do is get a book.
True.
Okay. Okay. All right. This poem I wrote when I had a bit of an argument with my parents in terms of my future. We had a bit of a spout about stuff like kids and marriage, and yeah. I don't really know what to title it, but I just wrote it in angry biffle. I can't reach it. Painful crater nestled my back dimples, deep and radiating pressure. It's about this big, not that I'm feeling it. Unsteady bouts of nausea grate my day, lingering alongside fingers that lingered too long. Curve of my back contracts. Neck forever bent, submissive isn't compatible with my stature, but it's natural. Pulsing out energy injected into tired objects. I'd sleep, but there's no rest there. Hands still grab, voices still talk. Please give me a distraction, hot pink or purple with 12 beautiful settings. In quarantine, I was hoping to start sewing, queeve my own garment with weave dystonomy. Neck aches elevated. I begin to thank my parents, only to meet Cheshire Cat's eyes gleamed with jerry curls, locks, and knitted socks. So much for sewing, because my seams are ripping and I'm about to twist from pain. Grey exhales matched with potential twins latched onto heaving tissue. The underwire's cutting, but it's in the wrong place. Raw seas elevated. The agony leading me by my hips. The hourglass is running out. The stage has been set. There wasn't a lot of choice, but this is what I chose. Thank you. Okay. My next one. Oh gosh, how much time do I have left?
I think you have like 3-4 minutes.
Oh,
2 minutes.
okay.
Yeah, a couple poems, like basically.
Okay. I'm gonna perform my favourite poem because I can't get enough of this. If you were at Unislam, you've definitely seen this. This was a poem I performed at the semi-finals after having a discussion with someone who I thought I knew. Nigger. Wide nostrils, big lips. Thick hair, thin skin. A smooth transition, my heart peaks. A furrowed brow, hands clasped, a sigh. 20 minutes gone. Pointless. For someone studying English, you're illiterate. No mice, men, or mockingbird will turn your page. More culture in forgotten yogurt left in dank corners, almost as dated as your thoughts. The stench that follows you does not come from your clothes. Fighting in a battle of modernity with pitchforks and ropes, it still hurts. Knife crime is an issue, and I've already harmed myself. Stop picking at gouged holes that have yet to heal. I hate the fact that all my poems are about me being Black. There's more to me than my skin. My limbs may have grown accustomed jumping through hoops and hurdles, but don't focus on the gold. Know that they are able. You don't get to normalize the oppression my parents fought to destroy. My dad loved you when you first met. His judgment is rarely wrong. That day was a first, and I loathe you for it. You don't get to wipe the slate I've used tears to clean. You don't get to normalize a word out of your possession. Your lease was up long ago. Move out your mistakes. I shouldn't have to stay to be your corrector. I'm tired of my tears being seen as irreplaceable damages. Bury me 6 foot under, but you'll still miss 2 inches. Regardless, I will rise. My back's too tired to stoop to your level. Know that I am above you and your words. Know that every time you screech it across the channel to laughing pale faces, you can never be my brother. But you failed at being my friend. Thank you.
Every time, honestly.
Oh, thank you. No, I just want to say a quick thank you to WinchesterFest. Yeah. This has been such an amazing opportunity. I'm never going to forget the opportunity to perform like this. It was very awkward in the beginning, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. And I just want to say thank you to the team, Claudia, Connor, and you've just been amazing. Thank you so much. And if you are a poet, aspiring poet, please do support, and yeah, just follow, because you never know where this is going to lead you, honestly.
Awesome. Thank you, Tia, so much. Honestly, thank you so much. Oh, she's just great. So, let's compose again. That was a bit shook. We have, let's say, my favorite, I don't know, cafe owner, and he's best friends with the goodest of boys, Ringo. I miss him. So please welcome to the stage, Seb Marsh.
Hello. So I'm just going to jump straight into it with a piece I wrote for a slam, the theme of which was colours. So this piece is called Red. So, colours. The thing is, the only colour right now is red. It's a pulsing, burning red. Forget crimson and scarlet can go to hell. This is a blood red. Pour a well-oxygenated and penetrating red. Poured forth from the throat of madness, lubricating the already steep slopes red. This is a red alert red. Like taking on a Borg Armada in the Delta Flyer, red alert red. Like it's already all gone wrong, red alert red. The only colour now is red. Like bloodshot eyes and sleepless nights red. Like letters never written red. Like pouring tears and screaming, and like pouring tears and screaming to your coughing red. The only colour left is red. The only colour now is red. Like burning coals and bloody feet red. Like broken teeth grinding through the pain red. Cutting gums and shredding tongue red. The only colour left is red. The only colour now is red. The only now is red. Red. Cool, well, thank you. Next up, yeah, let's do this piece. This is called What is Love? And I wrote it for a Valentine's Day slam many, many years ago. What is love? Other than a chemical addiction or Cupid's chokehold, a dystopian dance giving rise to a Freudian firefight, wherein what we need and what we think we want come to a violent head, leaving us broken and wishing we were dead. Reason versus emotion, logic versus madness, and I'm left in the mud, broken and cantankerous, watching all the happy people fall into a bloody mess, as they realize the harder they fight for it, the more they love less. But by that time, it's far too late, and they're stuck fast in the quagmire of hate, spouting vinegar and vitriol at that once blessed person they took as a lifelong mate. But now that blessing has turned into a curse, and Queen Mab's carriage has morphed into a hearse to carry the course of their relationship and the last of their humanity away with it. But who am I to say what's right and what's wrong? Hell, I'm tired, broken, bitter, and all of this at far too young. Still, I urge you not to get too involved with it. There's too many headaches and too much bullshit. Okay, thank you. How long do I have left?
You have time for another one.
One more. In that case, I'll finish off with Rising Tide. So, I was striding through the rising tide of those who died when they were promised pride by a god who lied. Back in the days of old, when we were young, strong, and bold, when the sun still shone and our hearts weren't cold, before our souls were sold for a lie and a bank draft and a can of Coke. But I'm still sat here broken, the bailiffs are coming, and I feel like running into the arms of a lie. But there's no pie in the sky. And here comes the guy, punch-drunk and wry, swinging by his neck as the train rolls by. Someone tell me why, I can still hear him cry. Welcome to my hell, you can now put down that knell. It can't be heard in this dwelling over the infernal yelling and the sailors telling tales of the days of killing whales and of driving twisted nails through the hands of a Jew just to fit in with their crew. And the lies that you thought true just won't seem to comfort you. And they say that we should die so cold men can fly, whilst angels sigh and good men cry after being persecuted for revealing the lies that the bastards tried to hide. And they tell us this is justice. And they stand there saying, trust us. We're repeatedly doing that which they knows disgusts us. Thank you. Before I go, I want to say a big thank you to everyone at the WinchesterFest team. You're all amazing. I can't wait to see you all back at the mooring as soon as we open. And thank you very much for having me.
Well, thank you, Seb. And say hi to Gringo for me. Give him a kiss. Oh, no, I'm dying. Okay. Oh. Anyway. Much love. So, next we have, just one sec. There we go. We have, oh, yes, we have Oz Hardwick, aka Paul Hardwick, I suppose. Hello.
Hi.
I'm just gonna spotlight you. There we go. Oh, wrong one.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry about that. My Zoom threw me out seconds ago.
That's okay.
Wow. It's so good to be back here. And in keeping with what a number of people have been doing, here's something very new in response to our current times. It's called lots. We're out of volunteers, so we draw lots for everything. Short straws dictating who makes the tea, who cleans the bathroom, and who braves the uncertainty of an outside world that's a different size and shape every morning. For the 5th or 7th or maybe 10th day in a row, I pull my gloves and diver's helmet on and assay the metamorphic city, adjusting my eyes to the colour of the sun and my gait to the pattern of other explorers, each with their own quests and questions. The situation has been unique and unprecedented for so long that it's been certified the new normal. And beneath our masks, we've all changed beyond measure. I'm shorter, heavier, younger, less certain, and we've all cut our needs to the shape of our circumstances. Shops have become fish tanks swarming with neon shoals, roads are curling at the edges like old swimming certificates, and everyone is moving like a jerky newsreel from 1910 with a stiff voiceover that smells of port and tweed. Between locked pubs and libraries, there are 5-mile queues for market stalls and car showrooms, with whole families unfolding camping stalls, sharing sandwiches as they wait to experience what it was like in the old days. I forgot to write a list of everything I needed, and besides, my air is running out, so I return home to clean the bathroom and make tea. My pockets rammed with short straws I can pick up again tomorrow. So that's what I think of the current situation here. I'm going to read a couple of things from my most recent. That's really good Zoom, isn't it? Because you make your head melt by just going like that. And from my current pamphlet, which is floating in and out of view across dusk Bruges, which is where I wish I was, rather than in my back room, with the windows shut to keep out the building noise that's been going on for 3 months. And I'd just like to read a little sequence that I introduce separate bits from the Lithium Codex, which is my current chapbook. And as the title may suggest, it's not the most chirpy of collections, but this is from the latter part of it, during which things do take a turn for the slightly better. A mattress on the floor and towers of unshelved books. The night slips through another crack in the floorboards, a Sinatra melody that lives in your head, though you've not heard it since you can't remember when. Empty bottles and dregs in glasses. The room's full of shapes that anyone else would find threatening, but your skin feels like your own for the first time, and the dawn can't step over the threshold until you invite it in. Symptom or side effect? There are days when I long to be the spent matches still lying in the hearth from last winter. So I throw away everything from the kitchen cupboards and press my palm to the candle flame until it freezes. Carve away my imagined flesh with nothing but water, judge my bones wanting when they shuffle into the wardrobe mirror. Madness or medication? There are words I laugh at when I spit them out, like crazy, nutter, psycho, the same words I have tattooed on my back in invisible ink, like a kick me notice on April Fool's Day. Sticks and stones and all that, but these words beat and burn. Kill or cure? The grate is empty of all but dust and voices. My body is empty of all but scars and words, and discarded blister packs are empty of all but inevitable futures. For 10 days and nights, I waited for stone, for flesh, for the whisper of blood. Condensation became sweat, became moss, became a small world with all its triumphs and tragedies soft beneath my fingers. Sundial circuits massage my face, a steady motion drawing wakefulness and sleep in their due seasons, a temperate enfolding of each hour. A deeper marriage we shared marble dreams, a sympathy of veins, something like a pulse or a fever. For 10 days without natural sleep, I lay with my cheek to your marble breast, listening to a heartbeat that could have been anyone's. And finally, she forgets arrivals, but remembers every time she's left, the softly closing door, the cab to another station. She blinks through the window, transforming the morning into an old movie stuttering into life. There are still milk floats in this part of town, like rattling icebergs carving into sleeping streets, and paper boys cut between hedges, careful to let sleeping dogs lie. And she remembers a Christmas, snug in flannelette pajamas, sipping hot milk, carefully peeling tape so as not to tear cartoon paper, the fire crackling and everyone smiling, but she can't remember what was inside. It's 5 a.m. and the rail tracks are staves on which early birds improvise songs. She looks to the point where they curve into nothing, begins to whistle, then stops. Thank you very much for having me back. Been a great pleasure, and what wonderful stuff I've been listening to all day so far. Thank you, everyone.
It's been absolutely amazing to have you. Thank you for coming. And the landscape was absolutely perfect. So I'm just going to proceed and carry on so we don't, rush afterwards. Up next, there is another poet I don't know, I think. But I've seen a lot of poets in these past few months. We were in WinchesterFest, so I might be wrong. Anyway, welcome to the virtual stage, Alyssa Kindred. Woo!
Hello. Hi, I'm Alyssa Kindred. I have been doing poetry with Sprout Spoken for about a year. I had a trauma last year and poetry just flooded out of it. So I'm going to share with you 3 poems from some of those transformative kind of healing experiences of that. You can find me on Facebook as Alyssa Kindred Elliott, poetry, or living and loving life, NQY for Niki, or over on Instagram. Speak the unspeakable. Reach the unreachable, touch the untouchable, the too muchable, the grieving, beating, pulsing heart of it all. Move into the pain lane where the river flows and only the brave go there, flow there, let it go there. All resistance fading, unclinging, ungrasping, no ending or beginning, just be, just love, just what is. This next one is called Love for the Unborn. Thank you. I love you, that is all. It doesn't matter how small your form when you would have been born, how many weeks you were torn. I loved you, love you, always will. And though loss is a bitter pill, I love you still, from the other side of the hill. Either way, there's a struggle, had I had you to cuddle or in this muddle. I pull gratitude like strings to hot air balloons, tethering me to reaching higher, refining the metal through the fire. These states are like storms, sunshine and showers. And as I watch them pass, when I have presence enough to step back and look, I see that every sticky mind state nook, every heavy state that threatened and shook is just love. All love. Get out of this room, these walls, and take to your balloon where you can peruse each bruise as you cruise through higher realms where angels fly. I didn't check. This one's a bit sweary, so sorry about that.
I think we've been swearing a little bit, so it should be fine. If not, people under, I don't know, 16 just don't hear this.
Sometimes fuck it, fuck you, fuck it all is all. And that's okay. It's okay even when you're on holiday. It's always okay to not be okay. To say fuck it, fuck you, fuck it all. Sometimes you feel incredibly small and squishy like a slug. Like if someone was to step on you just the tiniest bit, you would get stuck to the bottom of their shoe and repeatedly get squashed out of existence. Sometimes the feelings are huge. Like if you let them in just the tiniest bit, they will overtake you like a flood. Like the village of Ribadelago, 120 souls wiped away when the dam burst in just one day. Tsunami pain, torrential rain of tears. But what's the alternative? Let it go back and gangrene, compacted tension slowly fucking you up until years later you don't know who you are as you shout at a child and see years of unresolved pain in the lines in your face as you struggle to face the things you can't handle in your day-to-day. A reflection of all the ways you've denied yourself and abandoned your soul? No. Better to be whole. Bravely go there and face it all. Rivers and mountains and lakes take their place in the land on the cycle which leads to the sea. Let it be. However painful and overwhelming it may seem, dip your feet in the stream. Let pain into your bloodstream. Allow the rage to scream from your throat. Put on your life jacket and float in amongst it all. Black, blue, darkest hues. Storm clouds and lightning, every frightening sensation that blocks your joy, float like a boy. Bright and round and calm, knowing there is no real harm. other than running away. Just stay. Oh, it's heavy and dark and looming. This is where you're blooming. Believe it or not, the dark, heavy, scary place is your honeypot. And it will pass. And you'll emerge. Kick ass as fuck, thanking your luck, saying, fuck it, fuck you, fuck it all. I am strong, I am big, I am all. Thank you.
Ooh. I think you've just put into words like just everything I've ever want to say. So thank you for that. I needed it. And I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope to see you soon again. I mean, it's been brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right, thank you for taking part of this. I'm gonna now move on to our next performer. I think I said performer, sorry. We have Ben Edwards, and there's another two names, one name, 1 second. I lost it. Oh, I wrote it down. Oh, Ben Edward Joseph Ward. Sorry. There you go. Anyway, hello. Ben is a filmmaker, videographer, photographer, and traveler. Nice. A man friends described as someone who doesn't stop. Interesting. And so, hello, Ben. How are you?
Hello, all very good, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm surprised my name actually gives some difficulty. I thought it'd be a lot easier, like Ben Edward J. Ward. I thought it would stand out.
Oh no, it did, but then I forgot which page I brought on.
Oh, that's fine. It's like my blame. If something's going to go wrong, just get out of the way. Exactly. Yeah, so anyway, I guess I'm not really much more of a poet. I'm more like a storyteller kind of guy. So I don't really do good with like rhymes or that. So I just kind of write stories and just tell them. So I thought I'd start with one of my stories I wrote. So I call this Addiction. It's sort of based on my true story I had. It's like when I was younger, like 20. I'm old. I had this real severe addiction toward Mountain Dew. Yeah, so the good old popular energy drink that everyone tells you that we all got to have, all got to drink because it's filled with like life and excitement that will get your blood boiling, that sweet addictive stuff. And every time they tell me that stuff is bad for you, it's just sugar. I go, yeah. So what? I just kept going. I spent my money. Then I had this dream. I was asleep. I wake up in a building, like not just some generic big huge skyscraper, with 3 other people I do not like. They kept talking about useless stuff like the weather and their shoes. Why am I talking to these people? Why am I stuck with these guys? So I said, screw it, I'm gonna get a drink. A good old Mountain Dew. And I realized there's nothing here. There's no drinks there. There's no cafes. The vending machines are fake. Everything's shut. I can't leave. And I'm going down the stairs, and it just keeps going like some endless staircase, the Penrose staircase. It just keeps going and going. There's no end. So I'll go back up. I'll go down the hallway, and it's never ending hallway. It's like I'm running on a treadmill, and the hallway just passing me. It's going nowhere. In the meantime, though, I find my hands shaking. I find my whole body shaking, and I realize getting the nerve because I've not had my daily sugar rush. Agitated with these people, like the idea of them talking more annoys me, and I feel like I want to punch them, even though they're trying to be helpful. But their presence alone is making me want to hurt them, and it's getting so angry and so real. I just started bursting out of nowhere, whilst I've still got this pain in my stomach, like because I've not had the sugar, like my stomach is eating on itself. Then I question myself. Wait a minute, how do I know these people? Why? How does this feel so real? And I realized it was a dream the whole time. a dream that felt so real that you convince yourself that this is the reality you live in. What the hell just happened? I almost had a heart attack from that. And so then on that day, when I woke up, I want to go grab Mountain Dew. And as soon as I paid for it, I realized, why am I buying this? And that dream felt so real. I actually felt physically nauseous about it. And for some reason since then, I just, the idea of a sugar drink inside me makes me want to throw up. Maybe it was my subconscious telling me this stuff is poison, and if you keep drinking it, you're stuck in this endless loop of this pain and set ways. And ever since then, I can't put that down. I do not go for that sugar drinks anymore. I can't listen to what my subconscious tells me now. And since then, I stick to good old water. The end. Oh, thanks. So story wrote, and then I sort of turned into like a short film. So they got me on film, made it on on my last year at college, and then now I put that like film festivals. So I mean, it's hoping I get something into it. Do I still have time for one more?
Yeah, you have one more. You've got about a couple of minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll try and make this one not too long. I call this one my good day, bad day. This friend goes up to me and asks me, "Hey Ben, how's your day been?" I said it's pretty good actually, because I got up early, I feel alive, feel active, listen to some Bill Withers, some Bob Marley. I was like about to make some sweet, beautiful, good old English breakfast. And I realized I have the whole day to myself. Got the sun set out, and I could do anything. I could build up that patio I have next to the pool. I can get my hands working. I can finally finish that video I've been wanting to do for a while. Hey, you know what? Let's go on a trip. Let's go to the beach. Let's go exploring the whole county. I feel alive. I feel active. I feel like I can do anything I want now. Hey Ben, the next day. Hey Ben, how's your day? And I said, pretty horrible. That day I woke up at 10 o'clock. You got no sun, just all rain. You feel like you just don't want to do anything. The idea of doing something active can be painful. The idea like you feel like you don't have a future. You don't have anything to achieve towards. You feel that light at the end of the tunnel is disappearing, and that tunnel is just going and going and going. And you get constant reminders that maybe you're just on your own on this world, and you're the only person around here anymore. Especially when you got that one person you care about, the one person that you actually love and strive for, no longer around, no longer want to be a part of you. And you always get constant reminders that she's happy somewhere else, just not with you. And you always wonder, what more can you do? What could and what should I have done? If I had a time machine, I could go back there, maybe I could fix that so I can have a better day. But I can't. I'm stuck like this now. And every time you even think about that person, your heart just stops. Like someone, like good old Mike Tyson, just punch you right in the heart, and your heart just flatlines. And then you spiral deeper down into this dark hole that you've created yourself, and a hole that you feel that you can't get out yourself. And then you just keep wallowing in your own self-pity for no reason. So when people ask me if I'm having a good day, I always say, yeah, I'm having a good day. But a lot of time I was thinking, do you actually mean that? Do you actually mean that? Or are you just saying to try to convince yourself that you're not that bad, but you're just giving them what they want to hear? Yeah, but I guess it depends on the day I'm having. The end.
Woo. There was this line that you said something like, the idea of doing something active could be painful. And I just felt that, like, it stayed with me.
Oh, thanks.
That was great, Ben. Absolutely. Next time I'll make sure I, get all the names right. Thank you for being here. I'm now gonna go to the next poet. We have with us Francesca Baker, who is, oh, I lost it. Oh, there we go. Never happier than when in a library or clutching a notebook. Francesca Baker is a writer, reader, and word lover. As Virginia Woolf said, my head is a hive of words that won't settle. So she puts them to use, exploring the world and then writing about it. And you can find her at insocialthings.co.uk. So now, there we go. Welcome to space.
Thank you, Claudia. So I'm actually breaking the rules a little bit because I'm not a poet. I think I've written one poem in my life, but I am going to read you a short story. So if that's okay. So this is called Timeout on the High Road. The sun blasted down, grazing Sarah's bare shoulders. Blistering heat glowed off the grey pavement. Looking up at the sun, a golden disc, glowing like a copper coin, she was struck again by its energy and how its contented glow seemed to weave its way through the streets. Purple spots started to form in her eyes, and she quickly turned her head down to the right. It was lucky she did, because 2 steps further and she would have burned her face on a ladder as she walked into it. A man stood with his arms outstretched, painting each strand of metal on a window grille. She watched for a bit, thinking how there must be more efficient ways to paint such a surface, before remembering that she only had 1 hour, 60 minutes, 3,600 seconds, a few moments in which to feel it all. Pearl drops of sweat glistened on the neck of the man sat at the door of the dilapidated shop a few doors down. It was a shop, just that, not a newsagent or a haberdashery or hardware store. It just sold everything. Mops, yogurts and colouring pens were all in the window. Seen through gaps between frayed-edged posters and curled adverts, noticing a scrawl that Sarah didn't recognise. The man lifted his beer to take a cool sip. His skin was worn, his eyes lived in. They hadn't diverted from the tight, sleek fabric curved around the 3 girls walking past, their bright summer dresses and white smiles brought out by the sun. They were laughing, walking without purpose, free and wandering, hair tossed and eyes wide. They walked into the park and sat down, pulling out lipsticks and mascaras and making themselves shine. Over the other side of the green grass that tickled in Sarah's throat, children played, their giggles ricocheting around the neighbourhood. Kids' glee and adult revelry mingled into the happy hum of summer, warming up like the high road itself. Summer blasted down above her, and for a moment she forgot the briefness of her time out and delighted in its loveliness. Her head turned as she saw a man cutting up some lucid yellow unidentifiable fruit and munching away, dribbling the sweet stickiness down his chin. His radio cracked out lulling reggae, the chilled vibes vying with a pulsing bass from the mirror-black car edging down the curb. Even the loudest stereo and most offensive music could seem like a statement of carpe diem living rather than antisocial behaviour in the luminescence of the sun. Looking down her toenails, painted blue like midnight, Sarah noticed the black tone of her skin. London was dusty, and the heat only magnified things, whipping the the dirt and debris into a cocktail of tiny particles that settled deep in the cracks of her feet, like blackened furrows on droughty mudflats. No matter, she'd be back in the sanitised ward soon enough. She slowed, ready for the flocks of people to spill out onto the pavement in front of her. The number 72 bus had pulled up at the overflowing stop, as ladies with Iceland carrier bags competed to get on first and get a crumb-strewn blue seat on which to rest. Exhaling, the bus opened its doors and lowered the chassis to let the brain punters on and deliver them to their next destination. A teenage boy with a bike pedalled very slowly down the centre of the road. His cap was tilted back in nonchalance, his desire for action and exhilaration tempered by a desire to appear unflappable. The open eyes of youth were so recognisable that it was simultaneously heartbreaking and frustrating. The tutor of a small orange fiesta made him turn his legs faster and get out of the way. Sarah giggled. The smell of fresh cakes wafted from the orange door was Velma's. A large lady, who may not have been Velma, wafted a napkin over her face while chatting to another clutching a brown paper bag with the top rolled down. The sheer stain of butter from the pastry within started to seep through the paper, blotchy and greasy. Sarah thought she could hear the bag rustle from over on the other side of the road, before realising that it was a crisp packet beneath her foot. She smiled at the mixture of scents that wafted to her, charring meat, burnt grass and heat, an olfactory whirl, that ineffable and impossible, yet so known, smell of a temperature, scent of heat and summer. Pondering for a while about whether that was even possible, she was sidetracked by the gust of cold air which blasted out from the automatic doors of Sainsbury's as a woman bustled out with 2 bags filled with sausages. It was hot. Tugging at her sleeves, Sarah became conscious of the sweat patches forming under her arms, making the orange of her cardigan turn brown. She wished she could pull it off, swing it over her shoulders with sultry nonchalance, or tie it loosely around her waist and walk with a sway like once before. But her arms still said too much, like little hieroglyphics etched in the skin, a message saying, "Help me." Walking back, she started to cry, at where she was and how she got here, how the sun shone so bright and how she had to leave it, how she had to go back to the hospital. The grey building came into view. She gazed up and at the bright blue sky, resolute to see it again soon. There you go, that's me.
Ooh. Thank you so much for being with us. The flow was absolutely perfect. I'm just like, how is that possible?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Looking forward to, having another project.
Yes.
Maybe not the same kind in quarantine. So, thank you.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Okay. So, moving on. Right, we have Addison Williams. Addison Williams is a poet and musician who enjoys using words to paint imagery, and tell the woes of love, loss, and the life that wait aside. I can't breathe anymore. Sorry. Anyway, welcome to the stage.
Oh, yeah, thank you for having me. I'm going to jump in with a poem called "To Hear of Somewhere I'm Unwelcome." I have been doing it a lot lately, so if you've heard it, I'm sorry, but I'm milking this one. Atlas breathes heavy tonight. The sky looks ready to break. The stars hidden for lovers somewhere far from here, somewhere I'm unwelcome. 3 angels, 3 a.m. A holy trinity stumbling to an unknown somewhere far from here. Their hills wrap the pavements, echo a pattern to some horrid prophecy I'm too naive to translate. Sing songs my ears do not recognize, high rogue lyrics, howling the melody to someone somewhere I'm unwelcome. Bar stools creak with lonely men who contemplate stocking legs, cracked oysters and lost pearls. Eyes sharpened, tongues loaded, to the world's perils somewhere far from here. Suck the teats of beer bottles, consolation, daydreams retrace to lavender pastures of scented quilts somewhere I'm unwelcome. Pavements, hailstorms of cigarette ends, charred lungs lie in bed, dream of still fleeced sheep leap barbed wire fences somewhere far from here. On pillows of cement, steam-rolled blankets, anesthetized scholars whisper blueprint ideas for some new Eden, somewhere I'm unwelcome. The moon breaks free. The hunter's mistress flaunts her silver veil, reveals the cat placed upon the doorstep a rat. The gift of another's life licks its lips with glazed eyes to somewhere far from here. Runs when mistress calls, closes her door to the secret mantles somewhere I'm unwelcome. Its face is one of thought. Whiskers fashioned, sprayed tinsel organs over the broken ribcage branches. Its lungs last beat somewhere far from here. The tail wrapped under, clutched in the poor position like its return to a fetus. Born anew, somewhere I'm unwelcome. Sweet. I'm gonna do. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna do a new one. I wrote 2 new ones yesterday. Both of them probably aren't ready, but I'll do one and we'll see. It's called "Let Us Walk." Let us walk down the corridors of El Hotel del Carmen. Open the doors at random to find what awaits us. Compare our frolics and triumphs like children who boast of their toys. And if one of us shall ever fall behind or the other gain favour, let us take blame for each other's knocking, till we are equal again, to forever travel up and down the elevators of this establishment. For our nirvana lies within the corridors and the carpets of this, the Hotel, El Hotel del Karma. Thank you. If I've got time for 2 more, they're not too long. I'm gonna stick them in.
You got 2 minutes, like
2
on
minutes.
spot.
I'll do one. This one is called A Steamy Ride Down Memory Lane. It's been a while since I last kissed your body. I hope you don't mind. I draw its outline on the steamed windows of lonely buses. Watch rolling water drops destroy its beauty like the pearl hands of Venus forced to shield herself. Though I must confess my memory fails me, and each drawing becomes less like you. If your beauty could be caught within a photograph, the drawings would have been easier, or better, not needed. For art has a habit of fading beauty, and this poem, no exception. Thank you all.
Woo! I think we might have actually an extra minute if you want.
It might be a bit over a minute, so
That's fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Thank you for having me, though.
No, absolutely. Honestly, my pleasure. Well, our pleasure. You've been multiple times with WinchesterFest, obviously, and we'd love to have you as we have today. So, yeah, thank you so much. Right, hang on. Let me. Hello, I'm here. So we're going to have a quick interlude. I'm going to read a little thing. Oh, okay, we're all good. No interlude, maybe later. So up next, we have another artist I haven't met yet. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just waiting to see her video for a sec. Might do the interlude after all. Cool. Just a really short one. Maybe. Right. Oh, we have her. There we go. Hello.
Hello. I'm trying because this camera is quite bad. Okay.
I can see you now, so that's good.
I just have a better one that I'd rather use and can switch.
I can hear as well. Oh, there you go. Hey. Hi.
Hello. Wait, I'd like to see you. Something happened.
Right, so we're all good and settled. It's lovely to see you, to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you. I can't manage to like see you as well.
Do you see like the other people and all?
No, I just see myself, which is quite annoying.
Honestly, that's fine. Like as long as we can see you. So if you'd like to get started, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
We'll try to fix him meanwhile.
Yeah, that's not a problem. If that's how it should be, then I'll stay on myself. It's fine. Actually, I'll switch to the poem, so it's not even like
It's
I have to. Like,
no worries. You're good, yeah?
Me, yeah, I think I'm all set. If you guys can hear me properly.
Yeah, we're all good. So when you're ready, stage yours.
Okay, lovely. Okay, I'm just gonna start saying poems then. It feels very like I can't see anyone, and I haven't said hi. Hi, I'm
Hi.
Donna. I'm in Barcelona right now. I'm from here. Very pleased to be joining you. This is the first time I've like said poems online, which sounds crazy considering the situation, but it's just not something I've been doing. So this is basically the first time I'm sharing poetry again since like March, which was my last actual gig. So it's fun, and yeah, happy to be here. Just wanna go ahead. This is called Good Luck Being Loved by Us. Also, I do performance poetry, but I'm sitting on my bed, so it's not like but I
Awesome.
hope you guys enjoy it. Good luck being loved by us. Try to force feed us your ego or what you could salvage of it from the dust, and we'll bite it right off. There'll be no shame in pertinent mutilation, permanent mutation of the power source. Power. You'll see how scary it becomes when it's no longer only yours. You'll see what sharing it does to your stomach, how a dark, thick liquid wets your clothes. Welcome to the bleeding. We'd be sorry for you, if only we had the energy, if only we cared to look, if only we heard your squeals of misery, but we don't. And your tears, these drops are not unnatural. The ground is where they belong. The earth has been waiting long enough for your share of the watering. Oh no, darling. You really thought we were gonna do all the fertilizing. You swallowed up a lie that lets you off the hook. Well, I'll happily inform you if I must be the bearer of obvious news that life is everyone's job. And this is not punishment, but the slow and inevitable inner workings of justice, or a belated but desperate mother's hug. It's the piercing sound of unexpected silence, or I don't know what you had coming. Owen, you really ought to lose that bad habit of yours of calling our tongues blades just because you happen to bleed every time we speak. The inside of our mouth can hurt you just as much while being just that, while being just flesh. Don't forget, say it with me. The killers of everything you thought yourself to be are only flesh that breathes.
Woo woo!
Thank you. Sorry, I have to find the rest of them.
It's all right. Don't you worry. Even if you can't see us, we are here.
Good. I trust that. But this is called Parnell Place Couldn't Have Known. Parnell Place is a station in Cork, in Ireland. Phone calls are not rebirths. What a thought. This rise is unexceptional. The ashy living, not a waste. The multitude of rebirths, just one lead, taped to the mirror. You see, it surely meant we'll only discuss this in the present tense. Retrospect prohibited. The year autumn comes exceptionally late. Our winter remains unexceptional. Our cold toes wrapped in fate. Fingernails painted lonely. Look the sad girl in the eye once, and then look away. Find your way out of her dimples inadvertently. Crawling off this hole sure seems exceptionally easy, and yet exception or its absence soak every red that still dares live here. You see, the leaf meant we'll never discuss this. In a self-aware tomorrow that still echoes from the trees in places necessarily far, since they are cities of the brutal kind. The ones that bring you to your knees to plead or worship or to please, to notice how you were not ever a place to begin with, not a pit where one could stay, nor a cage from which to flee. This, involves the bunch of ribs we agreed to call the sack girl, for the sake of sped-up poetry, of evening light, of synchronicity, for the sake of bus timetables, vertebration of young fables, you see, farewells must be desecrated by the tangible forgiveness of a delayed rural vehicle. And as innocence dries off, a dried leaf sits on the table. No salvation for the joy, for the unwilling and able.
Woo!
Do I have like how many? Like
You have like 1 minute left.
Oh, Dios, vale. I'm gonna read you guys something. That's not that long then. Like this one. Imagine food coming directly from the ground, from civil war, forgiveness, grief, lust. Don't forget, imagine, brotherhood, fire, sun, bridges, no sky at all, sun, dry love, trees, sun, flowers, star, 3 clouds, sun, a single death. Listen out when terrified. Fear combusts in a single yell. Disaster ink around blue lips, disembowel hair by hair. We have forgotten skies. Farewell. Oblivion can't stand still. Imagine mother that gives. Did I forget to mention flowers? Food used to mean the ground. You mustn't forget the sun. Death used to mean the ground. You mustn't forget the sun. We have forgotten the ground, but let's not mention that. Instead, tattoo beauty in the smallest font on my inner thigh. Lay some dead flowers out to sun-dry remember. Corpses get sad when stripped of beauty. It's easier to shed life. If you ever got close to the ground, you would hear them sigh. Thank your cloudy God for how clean your nostrils are. Sorry.
Woo! Thank you so much, Anna. This has been fantastic. I hope we'll have you again at some point. It's been a delight to hear new poetry.
Thanks.
Anytime, pleasure. So I'm just gonna power through this and we'll done with my slots of hosting, obviously. And up next we have Maya Owen. Now I hear that Maya has received multiple nominations for the Pushcart Prize and Best of the Next Anthology. She has mentored young queer poets at Winter Tangerine Review and is now staff and mastering a magazine by and for disabled women and non-binary people.
I did not think you were going to read that out loud. That was embarrassing. Thanks.
Why no? That's not embarrassing. That is actually so good.
Isn't everyone by their bio a bit?
I did say that I was going to do an introduction.
I know, and I should have been expecting it. I gave it to you. Thanks for having me. And thank you to Laura for inviting me. I've been listening since I woke up. It's been some really powerful stuff going on here.
Woo! Big up.
Should I go?
Whenever you're free,
right?
You know.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of poems that they're quite long, but I'm hoping I don't speak so fast that I run through them. They're a bit sciencey. You'll probably be able to tell I wanted to be a zoologist when I was a child, but they don't let you be a scientist if you're as bad at maths as I am. So it's very true, not made up science fact to share at a dinner party. So much of an atom is emptiness. It's a wonder the buildings and spines of the world stand up. We'll worry later, explains the little death in sex, little grief in love. Among scientists, there's a rumor that everything actually makes sense and is connected to everything else in profound and astonishing ways. Nothing in the universe touches, but everything talks, is prone to gossip and singing. Birds sing in the morning because the air is crisper, better transporting their song to potential mates, perhaps perched in the crooked elbows of trees, of which there are more than stars in the Milky Way, and past 10,000 of those, by the way, the human music of our oldest radio broadcasts has already travelled. There are glass sponges of the East China Sea who have been living their long, unruffled lives for 11,000 years already, but the oldest living organism is a 200,000-year-old seagrass. Or is it Turritopsis nutricula, the immortal jellyfish that need never die? The largest living organism is a honey mushroom spanning 3 subterranean miles of Oregon. Or is it Pando in Utah, the trembling giant, a colony of quaking aspen, drinking each from just one tangled root? The largest living animal is the blue whale, Balaenoptera musculus, containing also the largest and slowest heart. There's a bird in the mouth of every whale, teaching its host the greatest hits. The whale is grateful, but secretly resentful of the bird for its expertise. As soon as the whale opens its mouth, the bird will drown, so it's crucial to lock down the repertoire. Elephants enjoy dancing and have been known to shed a tear if so moved by the music. They love violins best. But elephants have been falsely accused of embellishing the vast unfurnished vestibules of atoms with violin music. Elephants want you to know they would never do that. And if you said otherwise, you'll be hearing from elephant's lawyer. Don't believe everything you hear about elephants, but you can Google this. 2 herds marched 12 hours to the house of a man who had rescued them when they were rogue and marked for death. 2 days they held their vigil, then turned back into the bush. The man had died suddenly. How did they know? And how then did the herds return the next year, the same day? Scientists and I suspect a 5th force of nature, stitching the visible world to its shadow. Nothing touches, everything talks. The conversation suffers, though, when you're plopping face first in the alphabet soup of life, then lifting your heads a decade gone, deranged with news of the string quartets inside of atoms and a grand unified theory of the vegetable stock in your hair. Forgive me, but you can no more decipher the soup than a whale can fathom the miniature heart of the bird in its mouth. It's such uniform nonsense, in fact. You begin to hallucinate spiritual messages, and you want to communicate them, to proclaim the miraculous and how it feels subcutaneous, near. 9 out of 10 prophets agree the miraculous is mostly an intrusion. The only one I like is St. Francis, blessing the wolf, calling him brother. Between us, there's a rumor this poem actually makes sense, that its parts are connected. We'll worry now. Forgive me, such nonsense, death in sex, grief in love, blessing the wolf, calling him brother. Understanding is miraculous, don't you think? I mean, an intrusion. I mean, since Moses couldn't see God's face and live, God turned around.
Woo! Honestly, there was a line in there. You were like, you were talking about violence, I think, and you said something like had been known to shed a tear, and it fit just like perfectly.
Elephant. Yeah, that's true.
Yes. I was like,
yeah. Well, I thought it'd be really obvious which of the facts in this poem were true and which were false, but you'd be surprised.
Honestly, I thought it was perfect and brilliant.
Thank
you. Should definitely be a zoologist at some point.
Do I have time for another one?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
You've got a couple of minutes.
Oh, cool. I've never read this one out loud before, so I don't know how it's going to go. This is called Penetralia, and it's after Mary Oliver, the poet, and Carl von Frisch, who was an entomologist who studied bees. They say if you're having a panic attack, you should try to notice 3 things, like your toes in your shoes, the pressure that frees the cold spritz of a grape, Zora laughing in the other room at what she'll come and show you in a minute. But you mustn't go wildly noticing anything, everything. Once I was sick like that. I couldn't stop telling everyone everything I noticed. Patience. With honeybees, There's a dance that means nectar is near and sweet, and another expressing nothing but joy. Entomologists accept it now, but it would be decades before the man with the bees who figured it out was acquitted of Jewish science, that is, Goyish doubt. And that's how it is with noticing. When you do it first, watch this, they'll find a way to call it madness. How long have you been talking? It bothers you I've been diligently admiring your eyelashes. Maya, this is important, you say. You mean the light on your eyelashes isn't. Noticing pollinates noticing. Ask Mary, obliged to notice more and more about the white moths, the pink moccasins, all that energy. A bee's life is like a magic well. The more you draw from it, the more it fills with water, said Carl and dunked another bucket. No one finds the center, just a wasp inside a fig. The work will never be completed. This meeting out of secret choreographies of a timely sprig of eyelash light to those who pay attention, who move towards the nakedness of things.
Woo! Yes, Maya. Honestly. Stop it. Too good. I'm gonna leave now.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay and listen. This is great.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, so that you can listen, I'm gonna move on. The next performer is Jocelyn Mosman. Jocelyn Mosman has written 3 books of poetry, performed in National Poetry Slam, and competed in both the UK and Ireland. She was named, I'm going to try and read that, baccalaureate, something like that. Yay! Poet in 2017 by Mount Holyoke College, and Poet of the Year in 2016 by West Texas Talent and Entertainment. So that is just, to say hi to her, and it's great. And I look forward to hear your poetry.
Thanks so much. And thank you for having me. Part of this that I guess hasn't been said is that I just graduated from law school, and this is the first time really in a long time that I've performed these poems, probably 3 to 5 years. So I am very excited to be performing. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the first poem called Short Girl. I've always been known as the short girl. Never able to reach the top shelf? Short girl. Have trouble kissing tall guys? Short girl. Would you like a kids menu? Short girl. I've heard every possible joke regarding my height. I've been called fun size, shorty, leprechaun, bite-sized dwarf, shortstop, half-pint peanut, munchkin midget, small fry tater tot, shrimp, short stack, and little woman. The best thing I've ever heard was 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for Jocelyn. I found it hilarious at the time, and some days I still do. But when being short made bullying easier, it didn't seem as funny. When a boy could hold my possessions above my head, make me jump forward and never quite reach, I felt the gravity of patriarchy weighing me down. My doctor told me I was supposed to be 5'8", but my growing stopped in the 5th grade, my bones hardened, and my height is stuck at 4'11 3/4. I'm the less than 5 foot, lied about my height on my driver's license, limbo champion for the last several rounds. Short girl. I'm not saying that being short doesn't have its benefits. I can sneak through a crowd of people without being noticed, but I never get to see the singers at a concert or the actors on stage if a tall man decides to plant himself in front of me. He always plants himself in front of me. I know that being short means being seen as less of a person, that I'm only half of what others are, but being short doesn't make me inferior or unimportant. It just means that I need a smaller microphone or a larger pedestal to stand on. And when it's raining outside, maybe the storm will be over by the time it reaches my head. After all, I'm not just the short girl. I'm an anatomically compact and phenomenally beautiful woman. I'm more than my height. I'm more than my size 3 shoes. I'm more than my size youth gloves. I'm more than my inadequacies. So to you, I may be the short girl, but when I climb up onto that kitchen counter in my secret ninja gymnast-like ways to reach a glass on the top shelf, I will always be cooler than you. It may be a small step for man, but it is a quick run, a giant leap, a sprint forward for me, and I will always work twice as hard to be the woman I want to be, because it isn't easy being stared at or laughed at. I just have to pretend that God knew all along not to make me tall. The higher you are, the further you fall. And I have a fear of heights.
Woo! I cannot believe this is like, that it's been a long time since you performed. This has been great. Like, honestly, especially the parts where you were just making the list of all the things. You were just going like a train. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. So I have a second poem. I don't typically write love poems. I'm not very good at them. But today is my parents' 30th anniversary. So
oh, congratulations.
I wanted to read a bit of a love poem sort of for them. It's called Bluebird, and I guess like the story behind it is that bluebirds can't see the color blue. So that was kind of the idea that inspired this poem. I want my heart to grow wings, like flowers grow new petals, blossoming in the sunlight. And I want the chlorophyll to run green in my bones, clinging to my veins and spilling out until I can fly. I want to be hoisted atop broad shoulders, climbing larger boulders, finding rooftops as the next stepping stone on the ladder to the heavens. I want to fly. Let my veins tie themselves to the feathers and reach for the sky. I want you to carry me like Daedalus carried his son until I can carry myself. I'm not asking to be your guardian angel. I'm not asking to be your eagle. I want to be free. The sunrise is beckoning my name, and so is the sunset. Stop holding me down. Stop holding me back. Stop holding me. Let me reach until my feathered wings burn into the sun. Let me fly until my heart grows weary. You created a compass in me, and I always know which way is home. But don't limit me to the horizon. I see the stars and the moon in your eyes, and I'll fly straight till dawn. Let my blood vessels wrap themselves around my blue feathers until the sky turns a different shade of blue. Isn't it strange? I've been flying higher than any mountaintop for so long. I've lost sight of the beauty surrounding me. Blue oceans, blue skies, blue blood. Colorblind to my own dowry. I miss the galaxies I saw in your deep blue eyes. There's more than this atmosphere. And I'm Icarus after all. Flying too close to the sun, burning up my sight. My wings grow from my heart like petals from flowers. Keep carrying me to rooftops at night. Let me see the universe. Let me watch the pink sunrise in your heart. It'll be filling the black holes in mine. Cut away the wings from my heart. Sew them onto you. Alice volat propiis, they were yours all along. You were the gardener, giving me fresh water to grow and nursing a sick bird back to health. I was a bluebird, blind to affection and love, driven by ambition. You were a fallen star, a guardian angel, and you're making me whole. Fly on your own wings. Show me a universe that starts with the word love and ends with the word recklessly. I want to fly like a blue bird in your heart, making tiny trails as reminders and singing to you miles and miles away. You are my wings. My veins drink in your love like chlorophyll. There are so many constellations I can voyage to through the power of your kiss.
Woo!
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being with us. And you said, oh, I'm not really good at love poems. Well, now no one believes you. So you'll have to do more. Would you like to share any social handles? And
yeah, sure. So I'm either at Jocelyn Mothman on Instagram or at Poet Sarah, kind of depending. The second one is POETSERA, and the first one is just my name. I think it's up here somewhere, so you can probably get it from there. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Before we move on to the next performer, little announcement. At 3:30, we'll be switching streams again due to Facebook limitations and whatever. The link will be in the comments of this video if you want to join us for the rest of the day, and you should, because we're great. So, moving on, we have, hang on. There we go. We have Tuesday, Victoria Gale. Right. Have I said it right?
Hi.
Hi. So you're a poet in UK, Cornwall, right?
Yeah.
And you said you can be found walking your dog or lost in a book. I love that. We all do that. We're going to be great friends. Right. Would you like to say what's your poetry about and then just carry on and give us your
Yeah, most of my poetry just stems from, well, I write really solely and passionately from the heart about things that affect me and that I live with, such as like my mental health and chronic health conditions. And during this whole pandemic, it's been absolutely crazy for me because I've had to shield, and it's meant it's been a lot more restrictive, but that's actually given me a really good chance to step back and appreciate those that have been in my life that might not have an active role, such as my support system and my friends and family. And I ended up writing what I'm sort of calling a love letter to my doctors. And that's what I'm premiering today, because I haven't shared this at all publicly as yet. And it's titled The First Day We Met. You had already been studying what lied within, my cells, my blood, and saw how they were malfunctioning. 18 years, over a decade of tests, infections, going from pillar to post, one waiting room to the next, and still no answers. This time, the mood felt different. You invited me in, but you insisted I was not alone. My mother swiftly followed us as you sat opposite in front of your screen. Click, click. We have your results here. They show you have a life-limiting immune disorder. You sat back in your chair and you let the silence fill the room. I couldn't turn my head to see my mum, for the lump in my throat was so tight and in my way. And as I choked on it, these words, they managed to escape. How long have I got? My head fell out of the window. I wasn't there. I wasn't listening, falling down a spiral of more unanswered questions. What haven't I got? How did I get it? What did all this mean? And I felt the warmth of my mum's hand reaching out to mine, and I still could not let my gaze meet hers, but as a hand squeezed mine, she brought me back into your room. You stared at me blankly through your white coat and glasses. No longer a name, no longer results, no longer just another level on your screen. I am your patient. You saw the fear on our faces, rabbits in your headlights. Your eyes melted your blank expression with thought and care. When you started to explain the complexities, your strong, bold voice melted into the whir of your PC. How long have I got? I began to feel like a curiosity when you asked if I'd agree to send my bloods across the Atlantic seas to the scientists at the National Institute of Health to study, to examine, to crunch, to research this hidden part of me. I complied. Another statistic to add to the few. It's estimated 31 to 39,000 people worldwide have the same condition as you. These words echoes through the caverns of my mind as you continue to explain how unique and rare I am. How long have I got? At 18, you told me not to worry, assured me with the right management and care I'd grow old, and I thought I would live forever. I educated myself in your medical terminology, learning a new language, a new voice to guide and inform my care for the other doctors and nurses when you could not be there, and for when they are intimidated by someone who is so rare. At 23, you told me you'd been observing my levels falling. Trips and calls to your office now more frequent and last longer than some. Another prick in my skin, another scanner for me to take a nap in. Will you save me, doctor? At 25, I finally had to give in, from full to part-time to absolutely nothing. My body made me, it forced me to give up on a part of me, my aspirations, my identity, my rat race life of sin. My visits to you were once in 6 months, but now it's more like monthly. No longer just another one of your patients. You started to care for me like I was your family. Your second home, the hospital, the one that I'd spend weeks of sleepless nights within. I lay in your hospital bed and I asked, how long have I got? You've seen parts of me that I have not. Your cameras and probes unveiling my body's secret codes. I've lost count of the scans, needles, tests and surgeries. And in my despair, you taught me to self-administer your drugs, needles to my skin and drugs directly into my veins, keeping me safe and sending me home rather than keeping me trapped inside of your hospital, my side room, prison cell, hell. Another cannula, midline, portals for your drugs to be pumped by my tired heart. By 27, you reminded me I'm fighting this downhill trajectory, assessing my levels, tests and scans before booking me yet another surgery. As I lay there in your bed, feeling weak, my future, you knew it was looking bleak. Some hard facts you delivered, figures for me to absorb regarding my ever-changing reality. Without a bone marrow transplant, you predict my deterioration. I'll be lucky to reach 30 to 35. So as I pass those birthdays, I'll make them a real celebration. Although this could be the cure for me, you inform me of the risks of fatality, complications and the gamble that it would be, but you make it clear that this decision lies solely with me. Years pass us by as I'm paralysed by my fears and my decline. I've now reached my 30s and I still can't decide. Do I roll that dice and hope that I live and not die? How long have I got? Not even you can answer me that. No one knows but Destiny, and she's that type of girl who's just so hard to pin down. Although life for me may not be the best quality, there are days when I just don't have the energy. However, you taught me so much, guiding me with your love and care, bestowing your wisdom and knowledge onto me, empowering me to find my voice, to advocate for myself and my health. Transplant or no transplant, this is the only life that I've got. And each day is a gift. And even if I struggle, I'll make each one count. If not for myself, I'll do it for you, doctor. You taught me about the most deepest hidden parts of myself and gave me the strength when I felt I could not continue this fight. You understand me. You hear me. You include me in your decisions and you care about my plight. I love you too, doctor, with all of my might. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed that. Thank you to Whisky and Beards and, you know, everyone who's been involved in WinchesterFest. I absolutely think this has been an incredible and fantastic experience, just full of so much talent and love. And it's been incredible having this journey and sharing that all with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a pleasure having you here with us. I adored this poem. I'm so glad you got to perform it for us, and I can say it's very heartfelt, and especially in this situation, I'm sure that some people can relate. So thank you so much, and I hope to be working with you soon as well. So shall we carry on to the next performer? We have with us, and I'm afraid it's the last of my hosting slot, but it's been lovely, and this is, you know, the best ending you could ever get. We have with us the amazing, fantastic, fabulous Petrol Hurst.
Hello.
Hello.
How the devil away? We're keeping it horsey.
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to. Aha. I did not notice. See, I just do it.
Cool. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna say some words.
Do it.
Cool. Right. There I go. So so this is so yeah. No. Normally I do these with music and everything. So I keep calling and keep saying this next song is called. So this next thing is called crosswords. So first I drink a cognac, then a 20-year malt. Got to get ready for my evening's assault. Half a pint of Stella and a packet of crisps. I'm gonna show the world what an animal is. Yes, please, love. Like half a pint of cider. There's two sides to me. I'm like Jekyll and Hyde. I've got to get off now, lads. I'm expecting trouble. Got to get stuck into my crossword puzzle. I don't like to dance and I don't like to fight. But what else can you do on a Saturday night? While my mates are all out looking for a scuffle, I'm sat here in my shed with my crossword puzzle. Because I don't like to dance and I don't like to fight, but what else can you do on a Saturday night? So while my mates are all out looking for a scuffle, I'm sat here in my shed with my crossword puzzle. I get home late, it's way past 5. My missus is waiting for me to arrive. She has my special pen and my dressing gown, and all I can think about is 7 down. We met last night, my most recent foe. I won't let it get away, I won't let it go. I'm not gonna fail, I won't let it win. I'm gonna fill this crossword puzzle in. I don't like to dance and I don't like to fight, but what else can you do on a Saturday night? While my mates are all out looking for a scuffle, I'm sat here in my shed with a crossword puzzle. I don't like to dance and I don't like to fight. What else can you do on a Saturday night? While my mates are all out looking for a scuffle, I'm sat here in my shed with a crossword puzzle. Woo! Yeah, that was so that was called crosswords. You see what I did there? Cool. Okay, so this one is about kind of coming to terms with maybe not being the person that you thought you were, the horse you thought you were. And so this is called Honk If You Like Donk. I thought I had things figured out, but recently I realized my personal reality is not quite what I theorized. I have lost a piece of me. The impact left me paralyzed. The implications were immense and terrifying. So now I lie awake at night and I worry and fret, and I ask myself the questions I prefer to forget. Is everything truly as it seems? Do I actually like donk? Or do I only like donk memes? An existential crisis of unprecedented potency, an idle introspective thought has shattered my reality. Do I know anything real, or is there only parody? I have lost my sense of self. The internet has ruined me. Abandoned by humanity and left to fade. Myself ripped from my mind, I have been unmade. I throw back my head, and at the sky I scream. Do I actually like donk? Or do I only like donk memes? Heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. How are we doing? Cool. So moving on to another kind of heavy, serious subject. This one is called Toilets. And it's about toilets. I really like fine dining. I like a 3-course meal. I like fine wines and caviars. I like a tender veal. I like foie gras. I like cigars. I really like expensive cars. I like Rolex watches, and I really like a nice Ming vase. But even more than all of that, my one and only secret shame, the thing that brings me to my knees, the sight of gleaming porcelain. I like a big urinal. I love ometed shanks. When I see a toilet, I have to do my toilet dance, which I will now demonstrate. Take me to the toilet. 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 Toilets are amazing. They're fun for boys and girls. There are toilets everywhere. We live in a toilet world. Toilets make me happy. They are super great. I drop my pants and sit on one when I need to defecate. I'm going to do the toilet dance again just because I enjoy doing it. Take me to the toilet. 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 I am a serious artist and I will hear no one say anything to the contrary. So, yeah, one more very short one. Thank you to, the being involved in this WinchesterFest has been awesome. Thank you for having me on. I've really enjoyed doing it, especially given this that this isn't my normal medium. It's been great to kind of do something a bit different to what I normally do. So thank you and well done on running it and everything. And if anyone's watching me, I think they have a donation link. Maybe drop them a few quid. So yeah, last one. So this is part of one called "Help Me, I Am in Horse." Behind my rubberized equine visage, I close my eyes so I can't see, although I couldn't if I tried. They say that life is fleeting, but my heart keeps on beating, and I'll be a horse until the day I die. Thank you. Goodbye.
Woo! Thank you for being with us. Honestly, as always, I really, really enjoyed your performance. I look forward to seeing you maybe for real next time, not through a laptop and whatever. But yeah, thank you again.
Thanks.
Right, so my hosting time has come to an end, but I'm leaving you in really, really good hands. And this was not intentional, like the half rhyme or whatever. So yeah, you will have the pleasure to have hosting the next part of the show, the awesome Connor Sansby, who is very passionate about memes. He sends me them all, and I love him for that. And yeah, he's just a great poet and all-round good egg. So enjoy.